Hi Wolf. Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. I know it's a bit early. But the video is really long, so I really want to get this like over with. I think like the video is like the actual video is gonna be the full video from MrPokke here is like an hour and a half. Which I don't think I'm gonna be like watching them fully. The part I'm gonna watch fully will be the call, which is like around 30 minutes long. So we're gonna be like addressing some of the stuff that is like in the call. It's like we're gonna be watching the full call at least, and then we're gonna be addressing some of the points that he make. I'm trying to make it less focused to like the drama and more focused towards like the example and like the analogy that like he's making. Well, an hour and a half, yeah, the video in total, because like he includes like half an hour of like the actual like full call what like between him and like the other content creators, and like I'm gonna be watching that fully so we'll understand the context, and then we're gonna be like addressing some of like the examples that he's gonna be making here, and then like debunking it if possible, and like I'm gonna like agree if he makes sense, and I'm gonna disagree if it doesn't make sense. Basically that's it. I'm gonna try to like again, I'm gonna be focusing less on the drama and more on like the reasoning that he'll be using, because like I heard some like stupid stuff earlier when I was like working and like listening to like the whole thing. So but anyway, yeah, I've just clarification, I've listened to some of it already earlier during work, so this is not gonna be like my like quote unquote first time listening to it, but I'm gonna still like address it as it comes up instead of like going forward with it, like going ahead. I mean, so yeah. How am I? I'm doing fine. But let's skip to the call first. There we go. I'm gonna begin the call. I'm gonna play it, and then I'm gonna move the audio here so you guys can
The
hear.
amount of kickbacks and
Here.
free shit
I
that
hope it's
these
not
creators seem
too
to get from it seems to
loud.
be
Wait, is
specifically
it?
Hoyo, but I know all companies
Wait,
do
that's
this.
Steam, bro.
I saw one of the creators recently who has been shilling HSR and Castorice really hard. Got a nice little gift basket from Hoyo recently for being a good little boy
Just let me know if it's
and
too
not speaking
loud.
out against their game. That kind of shit pisses me off. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but that just feels scummy to me. I understand sponsors. Sponsor is a little bit different because like you're making specific content for that like specific thing
Is
you're
it too
sponsoring you
loud?
for. But
Just let me know
the
if it's
fact that
too
like they're
loud,
getting
right?
kickbacks without being like sponsored to like make comments and stuff is a little weird to me.
I will say, on the off chance that you're referring to MrPokke.
Yeah, I can hear it. Okay. Just let me know if it's too loud or like too quiet. Cause like I can see how high it is, but I just don't know like how loud it is for you guys. Because it's not really peaking in my end, right? So I'm just yeah. Just let me know if there's any audio problem.
Will say he has put out 2 videos saying that he thinks the passive is very bad. Now I don't. I'm just.
Did you watch the whole video?
I watched the
whole video.
I did. Why?
It wasn't that cut and dry.
Yeah, he did say that he thinks the Sunday situations are, but just on the off chance, I would feel remiss if I didn't at least try to put that in there, right? I don't want to go after anybody without the whole truth. But yeah, no, I can understand the concern 100%. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Keep going with what you're saying.
Oh no, that was it. I think that's just very odd.
I think there's
Just
a lot
very
of like
weird.
memeing about it as well, right? It's like the whole memeing thing. I think is a bit of a smokescreen to kind of normalize the situation, right? It's a tactic that people do. Like we meme
Yes.
about it, joke about it. Suddenly it's just haha funny, and then no one takes it seriously. And then no one fucking cares. You just fatigue people from saying the same thing over and over and over again. And it's like, okay, global passive is really funny, and that's it. And then suddenly no one gives a shit anymore because everyone's just so tired from it, and that's what's going to happen. And what is happening?
Downplaying it? Yeah, it's downplaying the situation and turning it into a joke as opposed to something that we should be concerned about and we should be talking about in a critical light, as opposed to just haha funny meme. It's bad lol.
Okay. So for context, they're talking about the Castorice HSR new upcoming like update, like where like Castorice, yeah, Castorice or Castorice. I don't know how to say the name, but like they're gonna be coming like with an extra buff, which is like a global buff. Personally, I think it's a bad thing. It's a bad trend. It's a bad direction. As for whether people are gonna pull for it or not, like I'm just gonna make my stand like right here, right now, before we dive into the full thing. I don't personally like the global passive. The global passive. It's because of like the last time when we were talking about the power creep, I already mentioned how like it's a bad direction to go. It's gonna set an example, right? And at the same time, if people are gonna buy them, who cares? Like, if anything, you know what? If anything, I might just pull her on like HSR either way, even though like I think it's a bad thing. But like mostly for me, it's more because like I don't care anymore, right? Like if the game goes in a bad way, sucks to be you guys. I can, I already like throw my cards away basically on HSR, just like a Genshin, for example. Like I like something, I come in, I swipe for it, or like I play it, and I'm gonna enjoy it while I can. And like if things gets worse like later on, then I mean like the only people that it's gonna be suffering is probably gonna be like the people that actually enjoys HSR and wants to continue playing it, right? So like I think like the problem is that like if people like if you believe that like if you believe that it's like a bad thing and you want the game to be better, right? I think there's like 3 points that people should come in. Let me bring up my pain. Let me bring up my pain so I can. Honestly, I should probably like start using like my drawing tablet to like just like draw this like all these like examples, right? But like the drawing tablet, whenever I connect them to my freaking computer, it just goes crazy for some reason. So I really always kept it unplugged for that reason. Let me see. Let me see if I can make this work. Ooh, yeah. I think that's definitely working. I think that's definitely working. Really? Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's the resolution, because like I have three different I have three monitors right now. They're all different resolution. The drawing tablet is like full HD. The second monitor is like my old gaming monitor, which is like quad HD, the 1440p, and then like my main monitor now is like a 4K monitor. So I think that's why like it doesn't like it, because like everything is different, and like they all have different like refresh rate too. So like the PC just hates me. Let me see if I can work it out. You know what? Why not go a step further? I'm gonna bring out CSP, Clip Studio. I'm gonna use Clip Studio to like draw a comparison, guys. I haven't opened this thing so long. Yeah, why not? Might as well, right? I mean, I paid for the freaking software. Might as well use them. What the hell is Clip Studio Paint Pro? Yeah, I paid for the Pro because like I was, I used to draw, right? That's how I got the emotes and stuff. 3840. Two. Let's do a super big thing. Pencil, brush, pen. I'm gonna use 100 brush size. Oh, that's way too big. Let me see, 60. Okay, that's decent. So we're gonna use 60. Let me put the thing in. Actually, I'm gonna turn the whole thought of like this stream basically into a YouTube video. So like I don't want to like record separately because like I'm running out of space too. That's not what I'm supposed to be streaming. Okay. Wait, where the hell is it? Hello? Oh, wait, that's so small. I was trying to find like the thing, but like I couldn't find it. So it made me really confused. Okay. So earlier I was talking about like how I need like it requires 3 things before like people called you like hypocritical, right? So first of all, I'm pretty sure I had some thoughts earlier, but like let me get in my thoughts again. Man, like opening the app makes me forget everything. Ooh. Let's see. So before you can call someone like before you can like basically like crucify someone for being like hypocritical, right? First of all, someone has to have a stake on it. Oh god, it has like the whole like I'm pressing on it too much. Let me try to get it closer to me so I can like do a better job of like drawing stuff or like writing stuff. But like someone needs to have like a stake on the whole problem. So like if you're a content creator, you definitely have some stake on like talking about like Honkai Star Rail, obviously. And then you need to have intent. Okay, this is much better. Like I was hoping I can write it this way. So you need to have intent. Like why are you talking about the stuff that you're talking about? And what are you gonna do about it? Like what is your intention with the current situation? So for example, the why would be why are you talking about global passive being good or bad, right? And then the what would be like, what would you do since the global passive is good or bad, like, you know, it depends on like where you sit on the side of the fence. What are you gonna do about it? And then the third one would be your action. What do you end up doing after you stated your intent? So for someone like I think like last time I brought up like Braxophone, which is like, hey, the whole thing about global passive, like, so he was talking about his intent, like the whole thing about global passive, I didn't really like it. Like global passive is bad. But and then he brought up his stake though. As a content creator, it is his job to like review and like, you know, entertain his people. So he intended to pull anyway. And like now the action is not happening just yet, right? And last time we were talking about like how he's basically being a coward. And I think Tectone calling him out about that, right? Like he's being a coward. But being a coward in general, like, is nothing, like there's nothing wrong with being a coward, basically. It is a cowardice move, but there's nothing wrong with being a coward. And so like the whole problem is that like what you say, like your position, your thinking, and your action, they're all I think like the what should be included in like action actually. So I think I'm gonna do that because like the whole problem is that like, let me make this simpler actually, because like I think some things just got clarified to me. Position, opinion, and action. So these 3 things has to, like, if you're really like, if you're a real hypocrite, then they're all gonna be different. So like, hey, I'm a content creator and like oh my god, I'm so bad at this. I'm so bad, probably because also I just came in from work too, so my mind is still a bit like all over the place. what the hell is going on? Like, why does it keep changing to like thing? So you're a CC, and then you think like global passive. I'm gonna say, wait, is it because of my freaking finger? No, it's not. But you think like GP global passive is bad, right? But then you're gonna pull for it anyway. See, this is basically being like a full-on hypocrite. Technically. Especially if you push this message out straight from work. Yeah, I came home. I immediately streamed after I got home straight from work. So yeah, I'm still all over the place, like between like thinking about work and thinking about like the stream I was watching earlier, and then thinking about my own doubts. It's all like mixed up right now, so I'm like forgive me if I'm a bit like all over the place. But like the problem is when you push this message out and then you pull anyway. Now you could argue, you know, but here's another thing. If someone called you a hypocrite, right? If someone called you a hypocrite, right? You can just say you don't care. So like, for example, like take it from me. I'm a hypocrite. I keep saying gacha games is bad. Look at me. I'm playing 8 of them right now. Like I keep telling my friends, like, why are you spending money on gacha games? And look at me now. I'm spending money on gacha games. So I'm a hypocrite. But also, I realize I'm a hypocrite, right? And I don't care. So it stops being a problem after that. Because like almost everyone that like talked with me before know, and I'm still in the same mind, right? I'm still like telling people like when I'm playing gacha game is that like I still hate the gacha system, but at the same time I enjoy the games, and the games just happen to have gacha system. So the reasoning behind the action can also be just a good or a bad justification. For example, like if you pull Castorice because you like the characters, right? That's fine. I mean, you do you, right? Just know that if you do pull for Castorice, right? Because like the problem right now, Castorice has like GP, right? Just like if you want to pull for her, you can. But you should know that like one day the game is gonna if enough people do that, the game's gonna get worse. Because like there's a chance, because it's a bad direction already. Like we all agree that this is a bad direction to go, but you're still gonna pull for her anyway. Then so be it, right? But you cannot like turn back after that, like later in the future, and then be like, you know, bro, it's so over for like in complain when like the power creep problem gets worse, because you already know the actions that you're taking before is like supporting this. So like if you're gonna do it now, like if you're gonna pull for her, there's only two ways to go around it, right? Like, well, no, there's only one way to around it. You gotta own up to it. Either you own up to like your beloved, like either you own up to the beloved game being you know, getting worse in the future. Like either you own up being like game eventually gets worse, or you just say that you don't care. So like, you know, and that like, hey, love the character, so F you. or or if you're someone like me, who doesn't play the game, like who doesn't really care about what's happening to the game later on, then who cares? Why is it keep changing to like the freaking... I don't get it. Why does it keep changing to like the hand to grab it? I feel like I'm all over the place with like the things that I've been talking about so far. I don't know. Does it make sense what I'm talking about? Do you have pen pressure on? I do, but I didn't. I never had pen pressure like I never had pen pressure grabbing my page. I have pen pressure like you can kind of see that like the like right, like when I do the pressure thingy, it changes like my writings and stuff, right? You can kind of see it happening in real life, like real time. But I never had it ended up like grabbing the paper. This makes sense. So yeah. So what is your opinion? Like, so basically, to be a full-on hypocrite that people hate, like the type of to be the type of hypocrite that people hate the most. If you see a problem in a game, and then you were like, hey, this problem needs to be fixed, but also I'm gonna encourage the problem, right? And then I'm gonna say that I did nothing wrong. Oh my god. Oh, see. Is it because of the keyboard? I think it's because of the keyboard. Said nothing wrong. See, Unit is 3 problem before people would call you a hypocrite. You tell everyone how the problem must be fixed, and then you get on people, yet pull on the character, and then claim that you did nothing wrong. That's the thing, right? Because like I said, because I said, like for you to be called on a full-on hypocrite, right? There needs to be a problem first that needs to be fixed, right? And you tell people that, like, that's the thing. You also need to tell people that you gotta tell other people that, like, you're posting on Twitter and be like, hey, this problem needs to be fixed, right? But then your action is that, like, I'm gonna do whatever I want, and then S6, like, you know, S6 or C6 or E6, like the character, spend like $2,000 on the character or something like that, and then I'm gonna be like, oh, haha, I know it's wrong, but hey. And then you did all of this publicly too, because like if you have an opinion on this, right, and then you just never brought this up, right, and then you just say, hey, there's a problem here, but I'm gonna still pull her anyway because I like it. Don't try to justify the action. Like, do not justify. I think justifying is like where things gets wrong real hard. I think that's what the words I'm trying to find. Justification is like, you know, if you're gonna be doing something bad, just don't try to make it like more complicated than that. Just do it. So I think this is what I want to, because I had all of this thought, like I had all of this like stuff thought about like earlier when I was at work, but that was like a couple hours ago. That was like 4 or 5, like no, not 4 or 5. Like that was around the time when I said I was going to stream. That's like when I actually thought about like all of these. So like when like by the time I reached this point, I'm somewhat confused right now. But like yeah, I think the justification is where people really hated it the most. I think when Brax did it, right. I think Brax is a good example of like doing it the right way, because he was like, hey, GP is a problem, right? I'm still gonna pull it anyway, but that's because it's my job. And like he uses the justification, which is why Tectone called him a coward, right? That's the example I was using, right? And then he got called a coward because he was using all of this tree, right? But then so what? Like, you know, if his cowardice pays for the bills, then, you know, the problem stops there. You know, people gonna call you a coward, and then they're probably gonna move on from it. Or maybe they're gonna do like a callback or like a meme. Like he gonna get memed out like every now and then. Like that's the extent of the problem. The problem is that like after you get called out, you're gonna try to justify again, and then you're gonna get called out even more, and then you're gonna get justified again, and then like this is the third point is the biggest problem, because like it can turn into a loop if you keep doing it. So the problem usually comes a lot from like the justification part. It can also come. It can also definitely come if you like, you know, you do S6 too, right? Like the action can cause a problem too. But I think the biggest problem comes from justification, because this is what can cause the loop of the problem if you try to justify it yourself. Because the whole thing, the moment you do those 3 things, you're already a sinner in front of the people, right? The moment you did all of those things earlier, like calling out, encourage, and then justify your action. The moment you did all of these 3 at once, you're already wrong in people's eye. You're already a villain. So just roll with it, and the problem will die. Right? Just roll with it. They're gonna call you a villain once, but they're gonna be less of like, oh, you're super evil villain, and like more of like, oh, you're a relatable villain. And then they're gonna be, you know, it's like Thanos, you know. Yeah, sure, he is evil, but like, bro, he's also, you know, some people can see his point, and some people don't think him as like a full-on evil villain, like the first Thanos. I mean, like the Infinity War Thanos, not like the Endgame one. But like, if you keep trying to defend yourself and be like, no, I didn't do anything wrong, you guys are wrong, why are you guys bullying me and stuff like that, it's just gonna get worse, because like you already know what you're doing is wrong. So like, why are you keep trying to defend it? Just own up. So yeah, I think that's my take on it. Just like me right now, like I played gacha games. I played 8 of them, and I spent money on like all of them. Now, am I gonna say like the gacha game is bad? Yeah. Like I said, I like, even until now, my stance does not change. Okay, if people ask me and be like, hey, between gacha games and single player games, which one would you like to see go? I would say gacha game 100% of the time. I spend money on all, yeah. Like not the same amount of money, right? But I've spent money on all of them. But like, if you ask me like which one would like, you know, some people can have like, people can draw a line in terms of morals, right? I think like Tectone and like and Asmon Gold would like bring this example a lot. Is that like if you have phones and you have shirts, like those stuff are made from like slavery or like child labor, or like basically slavery. Because like for clothes, for example, like some people in China have to work 16 hours every day to like make it, basically, in order for you to get it for cheap. Because like if you try to get a shirt that is made from like made in America, it ain't gonna be $5. I'm just gonna tell you right now, it ain't gonna be like $5-10. Like I've seen the prices, I've seen the price tag, so I know. And like if you're trying to make a phone that is like purely made in America, I bet you right now it's gonna be like more than $1,000. Isn't that why Apple costs so much? Because like they were like, we're like an all American brand. Like at least they're trying to like make it that way. We all know that the chip is like made from Taiwan and stuff like that. Like, ignoring the details. But like if you think about it, like Apple is an American brand. That's why they cost more. And also they're trying to be like super exclusive and everything like that. But like if you look at like most like more like Asian brand, usually their prices are much more cheaper. Like the more stuff they get to make like outside of like in China, like outside of like the expensive countries, like first world countries, the cheaper the item gets. So like their phones ain't made in America. But like Apple is well known as an American brand, like a Western brand, right? And that's why like the phone, like that's how they justify the cost, right? The software is home developed by like the smartest people on America and stuff like that. In a way, it's not a one-to-one example, but like you get what I'm trying to say, like that in this example. Because if you want to be a super purist, then like you might as well just like not live, because like almost every stuff that we have is like made in China. And like, do you know how people work in China? Like they work 6 days a week, 12 to 16 hours every day. And like if they try to like do anything similar here in America, they would get sued to hell and back. So like if you're supporting like healthy like healthy work-life balances, then you should definitely not buy anything that is made from China, which is like probably like 90% of your stuff, the stuff you have. Right? So like if we want to be like a fully principled person that is like not hypocritical at all, there is so much stuff that we have to sacrifice. And most people don't want to do that. Right? Most people don't want to do that. So like I think like drawing a line is a good thing, because like most people are still like hypocritical. It's just you have to own up to it. Just own up to it, Own up to it, and then enjoy the product after that. Like, people are gonna call you out once. Like for example, like if you saw some of your friends call you out like, hey, I got an iPhone, and like, what the hell, man, you're such a privilege. Like if you're like from like, this is my experience when as someone that's like living from a third world country, right? In my circle, in my friend circle, when I get an iPhone, like if someone gets an iPhone, they would be called privilege, because iPhone does not have an official store in my country. So if anyone managed to get an iPhone, especially if you get the top of the line one, oh my god, you're gonna get like wrecked so bad. Because they're gonna, oh, so now you're one of the rich kids now, like welcome to like welcome back, Emperor, or like hello King, can you like treat me out on the dinner too, because like you seem to be balling now, and stuff like that. And like all you have to do is just like entertain them that time, right? If your friends get that, like if your friends do that to you, right, all you have to do is that like you just entertain them that one time, and then they'll and then next time you meet them, they're not gonna even talk about it anymore, right? That one time. And then maybe even treat them to a dinner, and then like that's it, that one time, right? They wouldn't care about it after. But if you keep saying, no, that, like if you keep trying to deny it, oh no, I don't know what you're talking about, then like next time they might bring it up again. They're gonna be like, oh, you're still using that phone, King, oh my god, you still have to take me out on that dinner then. They're gonna try, like they're gonna try to bring it up again. Like the more you deny it, the more it reminds them to like keep bringing it up. So like just own up to it and be like, yeah, I'm a king now. Here, let me treat you to like a nice dinner. Just that one time, and then it's over. That's it. Your problem is solved. Or just say like, fuck you, man, and then that's it. Problem is done. That's usually what happened in my friendship group. Like, you know, if someone gets a new computer, if someone gets like a new game, or like if someone gets a new phone and stuff like that, you know, anything new basically, right? Oh my god, like rolled on the red carpet, like the king has arrived and stuff like that. Roll with the joke, roll with the memes. Get it done with. That's it. You moved on. I think I think it's a pretty similar like I think it's like a similar concept, right, in a way. Yeah, I try to make it like I try to translate like what my friends used to say to me like in English. It's kind of hard because we're using a lot of like slangs. For my friend group, they would do that as well. Really, they do that because like, you know, in America, having an iPhone is a normal thing, right? iPhone is like part of their life. Like majority of people, young people here, always have an iPhone. But like iPhone in my country is super rare, like super rare, because we don't have an official store for it. So like everything is like marked up, and like from a third party. So yeah, but that's my take on it. Just own up. One time you know, it's like if you own up to it, it's gonna be a one-time problem, and then that's it. We can move on. But if you keep trying to justify yourself, the problem's gonna keep going. That's my take on it. Oh my god, it's 30 minutes already, and I haven't even finished watching this. Holy shit.
I think that's very fair to say. I do think there are
Actually,
a lot of
wait,
people
I need to go to the bathroom real quick.
gaming it. But yeah, I mean, thankfully, I'm just one of the people where I'm just like, okay, well, I don't like the game, so I'm just gonna simply not play it. Yeah. Now I have heard rumors that I've heard rumors that they're firing Xiao Ji. I have heard that, but
Actually, let me speed it up a bit so we don't spend too much time on it. Let me see. Let's go 1.2, right?
I'm getting to the point with Honkai Star Rail where I
Maybe
don't really give a fuck
1.25.
to stick around long enough in the space to find out if it gets good later. If it gets good later, sure, maybe I'll play later, but I'm just not going to stick around anymore. I'm good. Because I think that was the whole direction with the live stream was, guys, there's going to be so much cool shit happening in 3.8. You should stick around for 3.3, 3.4, 3.5, 3.6, 3.7. I'm good, man. I'll pass.
This is funny. Most of the 3.2 live stream was them spoiling their own story anyway. It's like, we know you're gonna play this for 8 hours, but sit here for another 40 so we can explain it really quickly. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
that's all you have to offer. It's so funny.
Well, does anybody else have?
That was
This
you
fight is
for-
ridiculous.
I mean, I
Good
can
God, I'm
sound
just getting
deep.
my fucking shit kicked.
Which part
I mean, you want me to sound deep? I can sound deep too. Most people know me for like having a deep voice in stream for some reason. Usually, especially when I'm tired, like the me that you see right now is like the hyper me, basically the entertainer me. But usually I'm like super dead inside and tired, like that. So usually this is how I speak. But pop off queen, I guess. All right, let's continue. Wait, I haven't closed paint. Let me close paint real quick. Lamau. Why Lamau? Why are you Lamauing? You know, this is how I usually talk, like when I'm tired. You just never been on a stream when I'm tired because I stream less now. But back then I used to stream every day, so like sometimes I would have voice like this. Do you play Valorant a lot? I don't like Valorant, but I play them anyway for my friends. See, this is another example for like being like a hypocrite. I keep telling people I hate Valorant, and to some degree, I'm living up to like the word. I'm living up to my own word, like which is like I hate Valorant, so I wouldn't play it out of my own accord. But there are times where I would still play it, right, for like to play with friends and stuff like that. So you know, in a way, it's still hypocritical of me to like not like a game and then play it anyway. And I justify it by saying that like, oh, my friend invited me, and people would call it me and like, you know, maybe they call it to me and be like, oh, you're a fake ass fan, like you know, you're a fake Valorant hater because like you play the game and spend money on it, and like I'm like, okay. I mean, I don't know what to say. I play with my friends. That's all. I don't open the game when I don't play with my friend. Like if I don't have no one to play with, so. And they leave it at that. Like that's basically it, right? People either understood like my reasoning and then stop playing and then like stop blaming me about it, or like they would just blame me that one time and then like never brought it up again. I was asking because you sound like those guys that play at Lamau. See, that's some people told me that like I have really nice voice. But yeah, some people do that. Like some people told me about something like that. But like I don't even sound half as good as a friend of mine. I think you saw him. Maybe you saw him before. It's Scorpy, and like his voice is way deeper. He's way younger than me, and he sound way deeper than me. So if you like deep voices, he's even better at it than I do. Anyway,
I'm just watching it.
Which
one are you on?
I'm on fucking like stage 3 Abyss 2, and these fucking lizards, man, they're just fucking my ass.
The big
You're
soft
back by
again.
getting one shot.
Everybody's getting one
frontline.
shot. I mean, they're
the
attacking a
champion.
million times in a row. Yeah. MrPokke says, you got something to say? Say it to my face. You want me to add him the call, Shinya?
I mean, if you want,
Mr. Pokke, do you want to join?
Oh,
there's, like I said, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I got nothing against Pokey and Brex. I know a lot of people are name dropping, but it's like,
Sure.
you could disagree with someone's takes and their business acumen,
Sure.
and still like them as a person. I like Mr. Pokey. I like Brex. I have a beer with them. I consider them friends, but I don't agree with their business practices, and that doesn't necessarily.
Sure.
okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a fair take, right? That's a fair take, right? Like I can like them as person and don't agree with like with like their business move. And like they could have just leave it at that, right? Because like it is in fact the wrong move to like you like the moment you bought the character, you're technically like basically supporting Hoyo's decision to do global passive. No matter what is your reasoning. How did it went up from this? Oh, it's because Pokey basically talk about it after. Yeah, because like if you don't know, after that he like this is his video, right? You can kind of see this is his. I don't know if you can see, but this is MrPokke's video. The call is half an hour. Okay, his own talk like this here, like in the preview, his own talk is like a full on an hour. So basically, he keeps blaming other people for it, like which I'm gonna like address, but like I don't really want to. I less want to like address about those because I am definitely not involved in like the CC trend or like the news in general, but more about like I kind of want to more address like the example that he uses. But like in order to do that, I think like understanding like the whole thing first would be great.
Make us enemies, right?
Sure.
And JJ is just like, what the hell is going on here, bro?
I respect what Shin is saying. I think that's a very reasonable way
He's
to
like,
approach
where's the
things, a very mature
dungeon?
way to approach
What is
things.
going on here?
Yeah. Like people take it like people say like see what I said as like me attacking them. That's not me attacking them. I disagree with their ideologies and the way that they conduct their business. That's not any of my business at the end of the day. But I'm going to talk about it. That's my
That's
right.
fine. Sure.
Give me
Okay,
10
maybe
minutes. I mean,
1.4
Meek right now, give me 10
1.4 is
minutes.
too
Yeah,
fast.
you're good. You're
Oh,
good.
no.
Take time. Yeah. Cool.
Let's get your account manager to take over.
But yeah, for Honkai Star Rail, I really just think for Castorice, it was just it was inevitability. It was always going to be like this. I think I kind of feel like a dumbass, to be completely honest, because I really thought it would be different. I thought, different development teams, they're not going to fuck up the way they did with Genshin, and then they just fucked up. And yeah,
That's the issue. It may be different development teams, but at the end of the day, it's like all the people like doing like the finances and the ones that like really care about all the money. It's the same people. The different devs that actually develop the game, but the people who care about the money, the CEO, the CFO, and all the other like high end people, same fucking people, same exact.
Same building.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And this is a good point, right? This is the reason why, like, whenever people brought up Hoyo, they're gonna be like, "Oh, Hoyo will eventually fuck it up," because even though the development system, like the development team, is like a different team, right, for every game. At the end of the day, they still all speak to the same boss, and if the boss cares more about money than about the game, then obviously your game would get predatory. Man, I hate it. My dad just came in and like asked me to like help with like the computer, like my mom's computer. See, this is why I'd rather be doing this kind of stuff when like my parents are not around. Because like you see how like they keep they come in exactly like when I'm streaming. I was just like a friend of work with for Hoyo. It's a different TF team, but like they all meet together to plan out new characters. I know. I mean, it makes sense. And like it's even like visible, right? For example, like you have a character like all of the characters are technically a copy paste from like if we want to boil down to the basic, right? All Hoyo games characters are like technically the same character, just in different. It's just the same candy in different wrappings. Think about it, right? Robin, Astro Yao is it's the same. It's the same candy. It's like a bard, a singer trope, like girl, a night owl girl, and we get like the um and we will always like have in the game the character that is like super like dignified and like everything like it's like a bunch of tropes and like they always and they definitely try to make it like somewhat similar between one game to another, and that's why like people can draw like references. For example, like when people saw like some character from Honkai Star Rail and be like, oh my god, that character isn't that Alicia from like Honkai Impact Third, or like or they even use the exact same character for especially like for the Honkai series, right? Where they would like be like, oh, isn't that Bronya from like Honkai Impact Third, and like it's the exact same like Bronya in the Star Rail 2. So like, like that requires like communication, but I'm not talking about like the development team, right? Or the A stuff. Yeah, A, Acheron, and like Miyabi. They're all like the same characters with the same way to design like the character. Like they're all three of them are like this super like quiet girl that sometimes shows emotion, and they're really good with swords and the katana. If you think about it, right? But my point is that like even though the team is different, right, they still answer to the same boss, which is Dawei, right, the CEO. So it does not matter, right? If Dawei wants you to give him $100 million profit, then how do you reach it? Like, and he was like, how do you reach it is up to you. Then like you ended up coming with like things like this, because like as a development as a developer, you don't really have a say on like how you want to design the game, the game's like monetization system. That decision belongs to the boss. You just design it according to their requests, right? Like the boss might not touch like on like what like how you want to design the character, but like they're definitely gonna like talk about stuff, like they're definitely gonna like take charge when it comes to like money, which is why like Hoyo games would always be called out like will be always like we would always be skeptical about Hoyo games. It's because it's the same boss, it's the same company at the end of the day. If the company does it one time, there will always be a chance they will do it more than one time. And let's move on to that.
And like they can get away with it, or they think they can get away with it, because for like a whole year straight, people glazed the fuck out of the game, right? It's like Genshin could never, like Honkai Star Rail's the best fucking gacha. Like they have that impression upon the people.
To be fair, the beginning of Honkai Star Rail was so fucking good. Like,
I
dude,
agree.
I thought
Well,
1.0 was so
deserved
fire.
at the time.
Yeah.
It was totally deserved at the time, because it really was, and people thought
Yeah.
they're super generous, they're giving all these pulls. But then as time progresses, you realize, oh, we think they're giving a lot of pulls, but they're also releasing 2 characters every single patch, and suddenly after a year, people can no longer keep up, right? And then that's when the cracks start to show. Maybe it wasn't as generous as we think. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a stat that like even Genshin has better pull economy than Honkai Star Rail at this point, with the rate they release new characters, which is crazy. So all the things that made great are really not there anymore.
I definitely do want to adjust people's take though, because I do want to make it very clear that just because Genshin might have better pull economy than Honkai Star Rail, that game still absolutely sucks fucking dick. And if you actually enjoyed that game, you're just retarded. Yeah, but just want to make that, because people are saying, "Oh yeah, you see Honkai Star Rail."
See, what he says can be right, and you can just own up to it. Hey, I know Genshin sucks, the exploration sucks, the combat is super simplistic, but I enjoy the story. And then move on with it, and it's gonna be over, right? The moment you say that, or like, hey, I really hate the way they tell the story. I wish they do more animation, like animation and like during the conversation scenes. I wish they would do more cutscenes. But I'm invested to the story, so I'm gonna keep playing it. And then that's it. People can call you stupid and like that, but they would understand, right? That's why like a lot of people that's why like a lot of people can like always say like this game like Genshin Impact is still alive right now, because a lot of people are like in the sunk cost fallacy, and like people are already like fully invested to the game, and you can just own up to it, and then that's it, right? The moment you brought it up, that's fine. Like the moment you try to be like, oh no, the game is not bad, the game like look at my game, it makes like 100 million this month, and like what did your game do, huh? You only make 40 million. Oh my god, that's so like your game could never, and stuff like that. Like what the fuck, like like you just like that's like just more and more justification, right? And that's why like people, the moment you try to play defensive, and then you're gonna be like basically baiting people to attack you more by being super defensive about it. Just own up to it. Like, Wua is a great game, but it is still a gacha game at the end of the day, and I still hate gacha games, and that's why I keep telling you guys like I don't want to do this, especially on my day off, right? I keep telling you guys like how like I hate doing gacha games and like during my day off. It's because I want to play real games. I want to play games that does not limit me. And gacha games are definitely not those games. Regardless of how generous the game is, this is like Wua included. They got pressed when I said I did not like it. Yeah, and then they tried to justify on like why you should like it, and why Genshin is so good. And I'm like, man.
Where it was just as bad as Genshin. Yeah, 100%. That does not make Genshin good at all. No,
No,
hell no,
for
bro. That
sure.
game is so shit. Cool. Yeah, that was very
Do you
important.
guys do you guys know anything about Silicon Valley at all?
No.
No.
Little.
So that game, imagine everything that you're talking about right now, but instead of being a massive super conglomerate mega company, it's this little shitty ass studio that thinks they're way bigger than they are, and that is everything that's been plaguing Silicon Valley in exactly the same way. So I can kind of relate in that respect at least. It sucks.
Yeah, that's probably very frustrating to deal with. The other thing that sucks is that Hoyo, you know, obviously a lot of COVID babies had the same experience. Hoyo kept me comfort in such a dark, dark time of my life that I will be real. And this is the part where I kind of, you know, I don't really know how I would act, but I do feel that if Hoyo were to come out with a new game, I would give it a shot. Now, that being said, I don't think I'd be too optimistic about it, but I definitely would give it a shot to see what it's like. But I'll be real. I'd probably just do the old Asmongold.
Like, let me be. Yeah. Just own up. Own up to whatever happened, like whatever the other people said. Like Genshin combat sucks compared to Wuwa. Okay. I still like Genshin. And then those people gonna, like, you know, if those people are reasonable, they'll stop. Because they'll be like, okay, you at least you realize that like the combat is bad, like, you know, worse. I realize that. I accept that because I really like the story. So I'm gonna keep playing it anyway. That's it. And like, you know, Wuwa gacha system is like, it's better than most games, but it's still a gacha system and it still sucks. And like, I own up to it and I spend money on the game regardless, right? I know what I'm getting into, and there's that.
Approach where if I play it and like it, I'll make 10 videos. If I play it and I hate it, I'll make 20 videos, right? And that's pretty much it. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think, you know, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, or fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is the point that this is the word that the quote that I said last time, right? You know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. They already did that on Genshin. Like, you know, people keeps glazing Genshin back then because they don't have any other like alternative games. Like, at least because like Genshin was the first of its kind, right? The AAA gacha experience, right? A game that you can play on multiple platforms that looks good and like an actual like open world game. And because of that, they let Hoyo get away with so much stuff. Like, for example, not enough people complain about the resin system back then. That's why they keep around the 160 resin for so long, right? It's because like some people are complaining about it, but those people are not loud enough compared to the people that doesn't care. So this is what ended up happening. Is that like Genshin became so big, like Hoyo became so big, and they stopped, like, at least the Genshin team stopped listening because they're already big enough. Like imagine this, guys. Imagine this. Genshin, like Hoyo, which is basically more or more like, probably like more like the Genshin team, basically turns into Tectone or Asmongold, where they get big enough that they don't have to listen to you anymore. They can still do what you want if they feel like it, but they're a big enough content creator that they don't have to care about what you think. Does that example make sense? Because like, if you're hating on like those two content creator, let me make it easy for you. The reason why everyone was like hating on Hoyo is the exact same reason why everyone is hating on like Tectone and Asmongold. It's because like they don't have to care about what you think, and they can just say what they wanted to say and do what they wanted to do. Right? Isn't that why a lot of people hated them? I don't think it would have been this successful if it weren't for COVID. Yeah, definitely. COVID definitely helps the game a lot because like there's more players. There's more players available than ever. Then all those players have extra monies during those times. I mean, it's a lot more reason, but yeah, it's the general idea. Yeah. No, you can kind of like draw some like similarities, right? Once you become big enough, like you have a big enough audience like Tectone and like Asmund Gold, you can afford to like say stuff that like other people couldn't say stuff. Like even Asmund agreed, right? Sometimes he would just say outrageous stuff because he knows that like he can handle it compared to like some smaller content creator that couldn't do the same. And that's the same thing that Hoyo does, right? Is that like Hoyo can do some of this shit because he's like because they're big enough that even if like 10% of the players leaves right now and like they lose 10% of their profit, 10% of 100 million is still 90 million. They still have enough money, right? It has different impact compared to like if a company like for example like think like something like Snowbreak, right? Snowbreak Containment Zone is like a smaller like company. Like Amazing Season is like a smaller company, and the game may generate like way less profit. And I think whenever I see their profit is more closer to like around 2 to 6 millions a month, right? Now imagine if they lose the same like imagine if they like they lose like a million of it, like compared to like some like a company like Hoyo game, like Hoyo, or like like Genshin Impact, or like Honkai Star Rail, or like even like Wuthering Wave, right? You know, like if these four companies all lose a million, the one that got hurt the most would be Snowbreak because they have a smaller profit to begin with. So the same thing applies. So it's like the same concept. I'm not gonna say it's like a 1-to-1 situation, but I'm just trying to like do a simpler analogy, right? But let's move on.
That's kind of how I'm feeling with Hoyo. And I will admit, I do think I'm giving Zenless Zone Zero a lot of unneeded criticism, but I don't want to get fucked again by this company. And that's what's kind of.
And that makes sense. This is Hoyo's third game. We already seen what Hoyo can do whenever you give them like a leeway. And the more example a company has of fucking up, the more you gotta be wary about it, right? If you're on the same room, if you're in the same room as someone that has no criminal record, and in the same room that as someone that has been to jail before, like and has a criminal record, it doesn't matter whether like they're currently good people or not, like but you're just gonna be like, based on your track record, I'm gonna be watching the former criminal more than that random ass person that like sitting there, right? I've seen most people actually American scenes well Spanish. Maybe I don't really care what Hoyo does from what I've seen. And see, that's also a problem, right? Because like that means like they're full, like their action may result in like encouragement, right? And I just hope that they don't actually like truly care about the game. Like I know this is like sound like something like sound kind of fucked up, but it's the same as like people that keeps buying Nintendo games, right? If you really like Nintendo games and you want it to be better, don't you think that it's a good idea to like stop buying the game when the game is shit? Or are you gonna be like controlled by your emotion and be like, oh, I love the game so much, I want to keep buying it anyway, even if it's shit, it's okay. I'm gonna I'm gonna try to see the positive and then keep supporting them. Like no wonder Nintendo never changed, right? It's the same concept in general. And it's the same as like some like what they did, like what Kuro game, like what happened in Kuro games, except like what happened in Kuro games is the other way around. Is all right. It's like the first like 1.0 was okay, but it was definitely not as promised. Like there's a lot of problem with 1.0 and a lot of people left. And like imagine if like people acted like it's a Hoyo game or like if it's like a Nintendo game and be like, "Oh my god, like do you guys have no idea like Wuthering Wave is actually really good." And then they keep glazing the game when the game was in a shitty state. Do you think like what are the odds that the game might not ever improve, right? So what happened in Wuthering Wave back then, in a way, is a blessing because like it kind of shows the company that like, hey, people are not accepting like medi like people are not accepting like shitty stuff. You gotta like step up your game, literally. So yeah.
And get me to just not want to give it a fucking shot. I just kind of just don't care enough to risk being fucked over again.
Mhm.
But yeah,
I think in this kind of time, people are now more savvy to Hoyo the company, right? Because when people started playing Genshin for the first time, people didn't refer to it as a Hoyo game. It was just Genshin Impact, and Hoyo kind
true.
of came second. And now it's like after 2 years or 3 years of kind of putting up with absolute dog shit with Genshin, oh, Hoyo's doing this, Hoyo's the problem, and people are wising up to the company and the practices rather than like the game itself, which I think is the fair thing to do because that's where everything comes from, right? So
Yeah.
now like the more games you release, people are gonna be like, well, it's a Hoyo game, so you know, you're gonna be playing that for a year, then maybe dropping it afterwards. So I think people are a lot more wiser now to the practices. So
Yeah.
people can be more informed now.
I do think a lot of people in the space have an issue with receiving feedback.
And also keep in mind, guys, they're not even telling people to stop playing the game, right? They themselves they themselves don't really play the game that much, but they never tell people to stop playing the game. They're just telling people that like if you're pulling for her, then you're supporting the direction they're going. And you can do that. Just know that there are consequences to your actions. And also you cannot say other like, you know, if you're gonna do it anyway, just do it. Don't brag, don't say anything about it, just do it.
When it's actually like good feedback. Like, and I think a great example was Brand Online. I had a conversation with the other day where I just said, "Hey man, like you said that Malvika was horrible."
And also remember, if you do it and then things end up turning up that way, right? If the things that we feared about turns out to be reality, and now your game is quote unquote dying, it's also your loss, right? Just own up to it. Own up. Stop trying to justify it. Be like, hey, technically, I was a part of this. I was a part of the problem. Like, if you really care about the game, right? Because, like, you said a lot of the Spanish people don't care. Like, if those Spanish people really loved it and, like, they supported the game, they buy S6, and then, like, eventually, like, in the future, every character is gonna have a global passive, so every character become must pull, and then like now you actually have to tell people that like, hey, like honestly, you probably should have pulled like for everyone because like they're all like all of them have like important global passive and like. Well, now you get to see, you get to see the kingdom that you've been a part of like crumbling down basically, and like you played a part in it. Just own up to it.
For the fucking game, and then you see Sixter, you're a fucking hypocrite. And Brand didn't get upset. He said, "Yeah, you're right. I actually really appreciate you telling me that. I didn't think about it that way. And you know what? Going forward, I think I would actually take that back. And yeah, going forward, judge me by my actions, not by my words, which I think is fucking great. Yeah. Also, yo, Mir, I think
Yeah, see, this is the exact example that I gave you guys earlier, just right. If you just own up to it, hey, yeah, I think it's a mistake. My bad. Next time I won't do it in the future again, or next time I won't talk about it, right? Like, because like next time I won't do it in the future can be two things. It can either be like he's not gonna S6 and like he's not gonna C6 the character, or he's not gonna talk about how bad it is, right? It's one of the two. If you don't talk about it, there's nothing wrong with C6 in it, and if you don't C6 it, it doesn't matter if you talk about it, right?
take it, bro. I appreciate that. But yeah,
It's interesting though how someone couldn't see how that's hypocritical. Like to me, that's the insane thing. Like how someone couldn't see their actions would be perceived in that way. Maybe it goes to show how much playing these games, maybe as a content creator, kind of blinds you to really what is truly hypocritical.
Yeah,
Well, I think the most surprising.
And that makes sense too. What she's, I don't know who she is even. I don't even know most of these people except Tectone and Pokey. Not gonna lie to you guys. And like what this girl said also makes sense, that like as a content creator you tend to be more blind to it because like it's part of your, because you can put those expenses on like tax refund, right? This is technically work for you, so spending money on it is basically called a business expense. So I can see why people would be more blind in it. It's just when people called you out, just realize it, internalize it, and then be better going forward. That's it. Yeah, that's why I think he's not going to talk about it. Hey, whichever he does, it's better. It's definitely better than like, because like I think I remember this guy that Tecton speak of, because I remember seeing like how like I think he's a dude, he was like a content creator that made a bet that like if Cheetan like replied to his post, he would see 6-month Wika. I think it was that guy that he was like Tecton was referring to. But he also made a post about like how like this current patch is so predatory because they release like Chitlali and like Mavuika is in the same patch, in the same exact banner, and then like even worse, they make like they give up they put like the free rewards like in the second phase of the banner and like not during the Mavuika banner, and then you spend money on the game after saying that. That's the most. It was Doro. Oh yeah, it was Doro, right? All right, it was Doro, I think. Maybe it was Doro. I don't remember for sure who that guy is. But like imagine like if he only does one of the two things that he did, like it wouldn't be as big of a problem, right? If he just sees 6-month Wika without saying anything, or he said something and then don't see 6-month Wika and don't pull at all, it won't be a problem. But he did both. At least he took the L after that, right? See, he did both. He did both thing, and then he didn't justify himself when Tecton called out to him. According to him, right? When Tecton according to Tecton, when he called out to him, he was like, "Oh yeah, right, you're right. Like that might be a bad thing to do. My bad." He owns up to it, and it's over. The conversation is over. It didn't turn up into a fucking drama after that, right? So yeah, there are like multiple ways out, like multiple like solution to the problem. It's just like whichever choice you pick, to like whichever way you choose to solve the problem, there is sacrifices to be made. Like for example, you either cannot speak out about it, you cannot pull for the character, or you own up to your mistakes. Like those three all have like consequences, right? And at the same time, if you just take the consequences, the problem stops there.
Thing is, you basically just shit talked him for 20 minutes and he actually took it in the best possible way any human could. That was the most insane
Yeah,
part.
and he just took it in the best possible way a human could. Like all the people, yeah, exactly.
You
Well, I mean,
trashed him, but he was like, you know what, you're right, and I was like, what the hell, like, holy.
I will agree. I 1,000,000%. You know, and people have said this about me.
He sounds like a super chill guy. Maybe a bit sensitive, but like, yeah, usually super chill guys are also sensitive. Usually.
It's not like I'm saying anything wrong. It's just I'm saying it like a complete asshole, right?
Yes,
So
you see, that's the thing. Yeah, you come
And I think that, by the way, this is like gonna be a bit off topic, but I think like that's the problem with like Asmon and like Tecton, right? Is that like there's something kind of like they're kind of unfiltered, and sometimes they're like super abrasive about like the way they say things, and I think that's why like a lot of people hate them. And I think well, I guess this is not super off topic then. I think the reason they're that way is because they're big enough to be able to do that. It's the same analogy that I was using like Hoyo games earlier, right? Is that like once you're big enough, you don't really have to care about other people's opinion. You can just say what you wanted to say or do what you want to do.
off in a certain way.
yeah.
Also,
Brad, I think-
also
I
good
think
luck
Brand's
where
just
you're at.
generally- Oh yeah, good luck. I think a lot of the content, like some of them. I think Brand on
It's
live.
not like that's on, but they got a point. Yeah, it's just too bad. Like these days, people are more sensitive than ever, which we all know. So yeah, unfortunately, they live in a different timeline. They live in a different era. Like if this were like 10 years ago, they probably would have been fine. They probably would be even more famous than they currently are.
It's a perfect example of someone who is an actual adult content creator. Like he's able to take feedback, he's able to self-internalize all of it and realize that he fucked up and he committed a mistake. And I feel like there's a lot, and I'm not naming names, and it's not MrPokke this time, so let's relax, guys. That just immediately like take it as an attack and immediately going on the defense. And it's like, no, like we can talk about things. Like maybe Techie's an asshole sometimes, and maybe other people are as well, but like unless they're being completely unreasonable, like take the feedback. Don't be a fucking pussy. Just like accept the fact that maybe you're wrong.
Yeah. Take the feedback. Don't justify again. I almost forgot about my game. I'm not even supposed to be watching them. I'm supposed to be just listening to them while I'm doing like my dailies and stuff. But let me auto a combat real quick so I can like draw something real quick. Lamau, yeah. I was hoping I can do like multitask. Because it's almost an hour already and we're still not even finished with like the actual call. So like remember like and notice the problem. Notice. Okay, so I guess like I should word it differently again. I'm gonna keep changing words here. So there's action. There's action. And then there's, oh my god. There's justification. Justify. There's action. And then there's opinion. All of these points have an exit way, like have a solution, but like have like a way to conclude, like a conclusion. It's just like no matter where you go, in a bad situation, there's always gonna be like consequences. Right? There's always going to be consequences. And as long as you're not accepting the consequences, especially with the justification, right? As long as you're not accepting this, the problem gonna persist. Hey there. Oh, hi, Acer. Hi, welcome to the stream. We're just doing some reaction while I'm trying to finish my gacha daily. I hope you're doing well. How are you? But how you know? How are you? How's your day been?
Wrong. Not everyone's right. Techie's wrong a lot of the time too. That means
Like when?
a matter of being human.
Like when?
Proof. I'm just saying, just in general.
I think
Nobody's 100% of the time right. 100%
I
of
would
the time.
say that I am right more often than pretty much any other CC in the space.
I agree. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I would say the people who are the
nobody's
most right in this space are Genazad, myself, Gacha Smack. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep, that's just my opinion. Genazad, agree or disagree?
It's a big sad boy season. Ooh. I hope you're doing well. I hope it gets better for you. But yeah, this is gonna be like a reaction video. Man, I was hoping this will end earlier, but like at this rate, we're gonna end in like 2-hour mark. I don't know if anyone's gonna watch a 2-hour YouTube video, but we'll see.
I don't know. You lie about me a lot on stream. You lie a lot. I don't know. Does lying mean you right?
Yeah, when do I lie? When do I lie? When?
Like all the time, actually, and then I pointed out. But,
Give me an example.
No, I'm not a psychopath who keeps a book of receipts of any time you lie on stream, but you say something in the chat and you just say something about your mom, okay? Like, no one's writing this down, bro.
That's the issue.
Okay.
We have to keep we have to start holding him accountable. We have to start
We're
having.
gonna start VOD timers. Like,
Yep.
oh, at 20 minutes and 13 seconds, he tells another lie. I was there.
Yeah. All right, cool. Yo, MrPokke. So, Shinya was talking about how you shouldn't say that a character's predatory and then still pull for it. So I think that's what you wanted to talk about.
Nah, sorry. Before that, wait. What, Shinya? Why do you think I'm a min picker?
Why do I never called you a mint picker for one.
I mean, you were seriously insinuating it. So why do you think I'm a min picker?
Insinuating you were a mint picker?
Yeah.
that,
What,
like,
what do you mean by
yeah.
Greedy
nitpicker?
and stupid
So
is
you
equivalent.
literally verbatim said that the greedy and
yeah.
stupid is the same thing as nitpicker. Yeah, so you want
So
to
Oh.
it's becoming like a meme, right? It's becoming a meme that
Oh, it's a
is
meme.
sort of
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
sort of
okay.
like against the grain, right? So you're going. So let's be real. Like you saying that the passive is acceptable and that like you're going to continue supporting it is against the grain, right? In the content creator space at least, right? It's sort of like now it's becoming a meme that like you're going against like something, like the general consensus of the space. That's it. That's all it is. I'm not calling you in picker. I'm saying it's like the same situation.
I feel like that's not what your intentions were, man. When I was listening,
Cut it in two part. Oh man, that gonna suck. Cause like that's basically me reacting to the call and then me reacting to like MrPokke itself, right? Yeah, maybe we can. I'll see. I'll think about it after, right? Let's just get through the reaction first.
the call, I felt like you were
And also, Acer, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope it gets better for you.
heavily insinuating that the content I was doing with my channel, it was very similar to like MVOC and everything, and you're basically trying to undermine my personal branding, and now you're trying to.
Wow. That is not a good opening already. Like, if you guys think about it, right? If you guys think based on like the context of like the things that I've been talking about so far, he's already trying to justify himself. You are insinuating blah 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 about my personal branding, blah blah blah. This is already, he's already being defensive 1 minute in. That is a bad sign. Like I don't like to give you guys context, I did listen to the reaction of like the first 60 minutes and like the first hour or so of the video. So like I was basically listening to Santontas earlier. I was listening to his reaction to the first 60 minutes, but I never heard about the actual call at all. So technically, like watching the actual call right now, this is my first time watching it. And I will probably clarify that in the start of the video. Maybe I should make it into a two episode, because like this part I haven't watched at all. The one that I watched is like the actual like his perspective, like his takes, like the global passive situation, blah blah blah, like this ones. I never watched the actual call, but like based on like the way he enters the call already, this is a bad sign because he's already being super defensive about it. He's being defensive, which means like he's not there to accept his mistakes. He's there to cause problem already by being defensive. Like when you come in with like a freaking sword and shield into a room, into like a waiting room, then you are if you come in with a gun ready, I guess like sword and shield was a mistake. If you come into a room full of people with a gun ready, people is gonna assume you're dangerous, or like people are gonna assume you're trouble already. And usually when you do that, when you have a gun on your hand and you enter a room, you're probably there to cause problem usually.
Back trying to I'm just being a meme and I'm trying to make it funny because like before the global passive thing, you're saying it was like the whole like he's the greedy and stupid thing, right? It is what I'm feeling. Yeah.
I mean, I think you're going down the same route. I think you're taking it.
Okay, so it's not
sort
a
of-
meme then. So I am becoming enviosity in your words.
Well, I mean, it's
You
a
wanna
meme
explain
now,
that?
but if you keep going down the same route, I think you would be, yeah.
Okay, so why do you think that?
Because you're defending the game, basically no matter what. I think that again,
I'm defending the game no matter what.
Yeah, like Cabinet said, like you're turning the issue, the global passive, into sort of like a meme and sort of undermining like the actual insinuation of how bad it is for the game.
See, you're defending the game no matter what. That can be true, and if you just said, yeah, because I like the game, problem solved. They're gonna call you a Hoyo shill, but they're not gonna talk about it anymore. Think about it. The moment he's like, if you just own up to it and be like, yeah, I'm defending it because I really love Hoyo games, what you gonna do about it? Or like, fuck you. It's over. The consequences would be he would be called a Hoyo shill, but the conversation is over. It's gonna be a meme, like for sure. It's gonna be a meme. But considering how like most of like MrPokke's viewer is already agreeing with him and like stuck around when he plays Hoyo games all the time, I'm assuming that like they don't really care. They wouldn't care. I'm assuming that they wouldn't really care that much about it. So yeah,
And turning into like, oh, haha,
could have been solved easily. Yeah.
that's just a joke. Let's move on, right?
I don't think that is like the way that it's been phrased, man. I feel like at the end of the day, people that don't want to play HSR, they just don't play HSR. Like for example, Tecton, right? Anyone can say, oh, fuck Wizardry, it's not funny or whatever, but he want to play the game for what the game is, and then he is like perfectly well invited to do so. And I feel like there is like zero difference in me liking HSR, and why is it being compared to I'm becoming like a min picker, which is compared to the likes of MBOC?
Well, I think the difference with me and Wizardry is that there's not anything that I say this is really bad, but I'm going to do it anyways. Right. Whereas the example for a lot of content creators like yourself, Box, Brax, you're saying this is very bad, but I'm gonna play it anyways, right? I think.
Yeah, this is very bad, but I'm gonna do it anyway. If you don't say this is bad and I'm gonna do it, if you don't bring it up, right? If you don't bring it up, it won't be a problem if you do it. And if you don't do it, it won't be a problem if you bring it up.
That's the difference. I don't think there's a parallel for me to make, but you can probably make that a parallel to somebody else. But I don't think that I should be involved in this specific comparison.
So, should I not play HSR because it's bad because of the global passive?
No, nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that.
Don't support the practice. Like, don't pull for the character. Don't support that. Like, you're continuing to play the game as much as you want, but I think if you are pulling for the character and encouraging, or I think by proxy, by you doing it on stream, you are kind of encouraging other people to do it as well.
See, ideally, you wouldn't play the game at all. But since the problem, currently Castorice's problem is the direction of the game, right? Again, I'm talking about the direction that HSR is going. So if you don't like the direction, they're not saying you don't like the ship, right? You still like the ship that you're in. You just don't like the direction that the ship is going. So don't support that direction. Tell them to move to another direction by not supporting the action, like by not doing it. If you stop playing the game entirely, then I mean, in a way, it also says that the direction is fault, right? But like most people probably gonna be like, oh, you just don't like the ship in general. It's not like that you don't like the direction, it's that you hate the ship. So people are gonna try to phrase it that way if you fully stop playing the game. At least like most people would.
Even if you're not necessarily saying you should.
Like if they're being disingenuous, it's like if they're being reasonable, they probably would listen to like why you doing what you're doing. But most people people can frame it in a bad way if you fully stop the game. But if you keep playing the game and you just don't pull the specific character or like the character that kind of goes against your values, then like it's kind of like sending a more detailed message. It's kind of like honing into the problem instead of like a scorched earth solution.
Should pull for this character. Just the simple fact of you pulling for it is encouraging the behavior.
Encouraging the behavior.
And he's not wrong because you're a content creator, right? Like there's a lot of people out there that get influenced by content creator and like by the things that they watch. So pulling it on stream are definitely gonna cause a problem. Like pulling it off stream are gonna cause less problem, but if you stream it every day, people are gonna notice it and then gonna be like, yeah. And then it's gonna be a problem at the end. It's gonna be less of a problem, but it's still gonna be a problem.
Or what? Supporting a company for like
supporting a company for things that they might not necessarily agree with.
Well, I think what's really important is more just you can do this on the creator server and use the characters and show them off and stuff, but by pulling the character and then using it, you'll be using it on stream probably all the time and you'll have the passive forever. I suppose that means that you are supporting pulling the character and supporting that practice by using your currency to get the character.
Okay. Yeah, I get it. So in like your view, if I pull for Castorice, it's being viewed as I'm supporting a predatory practice, which is global passive. But it's not just like, oh, maybe I just want to play the character.
Yeah,
that's we just want to play.
We're all kind of supporting predatory practices by just streaming.
I guess what I think
exactly. I was gonna get to that. Like, how can that be a moral high ground? Like, you're not being moral because we are all gacha content creators. We literally play gacha games. It is basically promoting.
Okay, but the thing is, I don't think this comparison works because I think we all accept that we're already doing that. But this is
yeah. See, this is where the justification that I was talking about came again. Like I said, if you're talking about my opinion, right? My opinion is that I hate gacha mechanics, right? But my action right now is that I play gacha games, right? So this is hypocritical, right? If you guys think about it, this is hypocritical already. And you can definitely call me out on that. Gacha games. Right? So I hate gacha games. Gacha mechanics. But I play gacha games. So my justification right then is that like I accepted the fact that I like some of the gacha games that I play. Unlike some gacha games. You're right. The system is bad, but I like the game anyway. So I'm gonna keep playing it until they screw me over. Which is also why like one of the reasons I stopped Genshin, by the way. It's because I feel like I got screwed over. And I stopped there, right? I did not try, I did not try to justify the gacha system. I did not try to defend the gacha system whatsoever. I just said I like the game. I like some of the games that I played. I like fan service. I like seeing like boobs in Snowbreak. Like sue me. so so people never brought a problem up again. Because like all my friends called out on me the first time I swipe on the game, on the gacha game, right? Because like we're all poor when I was still in my country, so we never actually like swipe the game or like swipe that much. We would like at most we would do something like Welkin, maybe Battle Pass if we're feeling like generous. Because like Battle Pass is more expensive than Welkin, but most of the time we do Welkin because Welkin is the cheapest way to like get more Primogem, right? And then when I got to America, my first paycheck, you know, I swipe on like a gacha game. No, actually, no. My first paycheck, it goes to the computer. This is like more like a rhetoric like example. Like I spend some of my paycheck on like a microtransaction. And then my friend called out to me and like, oh, you used to be like, you used to be one of us. You used to be like, we used to be like so good with money, and like now look at you, like you're spending money. Like I'm like, yeah, because I like the game and I want to support the game. And then the problem stops there. My friend never called out to me again. They brought it up sometimes, like memeing on me. In like, for example, like because like my friends sometimes like still group up with me, and like we would do like polls together on stream, like on Discord calls, and he would be like, like if everyone else don't get the character, they would like be like, oh no, it's okay, you'll get them next time and stuff like that. But for me, they're gonna like, you're gonna swipe for it anyway, and they're not wrong, right? And technically it's a jab on me, right? But at least they never escalate the problem. They just meme about it. And that's the consequence that I have to live with. But as long as but I accepted that already. I accepted the consequences. So, and the problem does not get bigger. So yeah, I hope the example like kind of fits the situation.
Separate issue within that thing. That's how I see it. I think we all accept that we are essentially doing a morally wrong thing, which is playing gacha games and promoting them. But I believe that this is separate from that. This is a separate, you're supporting something else that leads to something else, rather than this is
It's like my casino is like
How do I simplify this? Because I feel like I feel like whoever this guy is, I think is he Genizat or like something? I don't know. I don't know who this guy is, but like he brought up a good point. I just don't think he explained it in a good way. So let me try something that is more relatable. Something that is more understandable. So we all know casino is bad. Gambling is bad, right? And if everyone comes into the casino, they're already doing a bad thing because like, what else would you come to a casino for? Like obviously for gambling, right? The moment you enter the casino to play, you're already doing something bad in a way, quote unquote bad. At the same time, there is a difference between going to a casino and also going to a casino that is like known to like scam people. Because one is a game of chance and one is just you trying to screw yourself up and other people that you brought with you, right? So I think that's the difference. Is that like going to a casino? It's a bad, and gambling is bad, but like what you're signing up into. But if you heard bad rumors about like a casino, about a certain casino, and you're still visiting the place anyway. You cannot complain if you get screwed at the end. Like if you heard like this, that's like Casino A is like love like scamming people, and like, you know, the house always wins, and you choose to come to Casino A, then you brought the problem upon yourself. And you cannot blame other people for it. And it's even worse if you drag other people into it. That's why like the Castorice, like that's why as a content creator, the Castorice system, like the pulling Castorice on stream is a bigger problem, because you're dragging other people with you. Because by like if we do the casino example, if MrPokke goes to Casino A, knowing that he would get scammed, and then like him going to that casino brings in more people, now you have like a bigger sin basically, because you're screwing all of these people that you know would follow you.
Worse than your casino,
I hope the example makes sense.
because my casino is
No.
global passive.
No,
It, it doesn't like that.
I don't think.
Also, Wolf, you don't have I'm just saying this like just in case, but you don't always have to agree with me. Like I would love like if I'm doing like if I'm saying something wrong or doing something wrong, or like if you don't understand what, like if you think my examples are like does not make sense, like you can always call me out, you know.
It's not exactly like that either. It's just like we all accept that the evils of gacha, but it's more like this is something that is supporting, leading to a game getting worse, and also leading to an extra predatory thing within it, right? So I think that's kind of the issue that people have with it, right?
I
Yeah,
feel like
'cause
it's really not that deep, because
So-
I personally feel that we're basically in a gambling casino right now for like these gacha games, and at any point of time, if the game ever reaches that point, what's stopping you from quitting? Just quit the game.
Right. So
But
let me
if
make-
you're still enjoying fun, all right, go for it.
Oh, I
so
did.
I think
mean,
the
like,
issue that we're having is that what makes a criminal, right? So a criminal is someone who shoplifts because their family needs food and they can't survive, right? But a criminal is also someone who goes out and, you know, sets fire to a 7-Eleven, kills somebody. We agree that they're all criminals, but there's levels to this.
There's level to this. Find anything about so far? I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to preface this, like, you know, if you have something that you don't agree with, feel free to like point it out. If you think I said something wrong, if you think I said like, if you think my examples are bullshit and like doesn't make sense, feel free to call me out on that. I don't want like the community and the people that I talk with to be like single-minded. I want like to have like conversations.
Right. So obviously, I think there's sin involved in everything. I think there's sin involved with being a human. However, I think there's levels to that, and
I think the sin being human is a good example. You know, it's one thing to be born with sin, because like, you know, according to the Bible, right, every human was born with a sin, with like an inherit and like a sin that you inherit from like from like your ancestor basically, right? And there's a different, like, that's a different kind of sin than the things that you do after that, right? Just because just because you have sinned because of you got born doesn't mean that it's fine to kill people after. It's like, oh, I'm already sinned, you know, might as well just stack it up. Like, I don't know. I think it's a bad example actually. Maybe we should ignore that. I don't know where I'm going with that.
Gacha games are all rooted in negative practices, and I want to make this very clear. I don't think that's just gacha games. I think that's all video games. I think all video games are bad in essence. I think the real world is much more beautiful than video games. However, I don't think it's that big of a deal because there's ways to overcome it. There's ways to enjoy these games in a healthy manner. I don't think there's a way to enjoy global passives in a healthy manner. That's why when people say things like, they're all gacha games, they're all bad, we're all idiots, well, that just doesn't work, because the levels of idiocy that a developer has to kind of rationalize in their head to justify putting that in their game is pretty bad. And I do think if a
Let's see. Let's digest what he said. Gacha game is a problem, but it's still a problem that you can solve, because, for example, you can just go completely free to play. Yeah, I think that makes sense. But global passive is not a problem you can solve if it ever like grows up. It's a problem that you can only solve now. I think it makes sense. I think what Tecton said makes sense, because like as I said just now, it's a problem that you can only solve now by not having global passive, because the moment it has, now the door has been open, the floodgate has been open, and then like every new character that comes up later on, you cannot complain about it anymore, because you already agreed to, like, you already signed the agreement the first time. The moment you signed the agreement the first time, there's no breaking the contract, and the only way to break the contract is if you die, or in a way, or basically you quit the game, in which case everyone still suffers, and you suffer whatever you lost back, like during the time you quit. So the only like the best way to enjoy the game would be to not support this contract. At the same time, if you're gonna support the contract, don't say shit. Just don't say shit, or own up to it. Hey, I like this game so much, I'm willing to sign a slavery contract to it. Fuck you guys. People are gonna talk shit about you for a day or two, and then they're gonna move on, right?
Content creator says that this
It's like how Silverwolf broke the meta. Did she? I wasn't here when the game. I wasn't here during that time. I only started playing it in 2024, so I wouldn't know.
principle is horrendous, unforgivable, well then just don't pull it. And I think that's what Shinya's saying. If I'm kind of putting your ideas to words there. Yeah. Hopefully that makes sense.
Well, really quickly, I just want to say, I do think that MrPokke, it's a bit unfair to say if you don't like the thing, just quit, because
That's what I did.
I believe
If you don't like the thing, you just quit. See? I think there is some right, and there is also another side of the coin to that statement. Because, like, the only people that never complain is a person that doesn't care, if you think about it, right? The only people that never complain is a person that never complains. The more you care about something, the more people would complain about it. The more people would have to say, the more they care, like when they care more. So the other side of that coin would be, if I don't care about it, I'm just gonna keep playing it, and like if the games get screwed, well, you guys get screwed because you're the one that loved the game and I don't. Right? Like for example, like if I like earlier, I said I'm gonna pull for Castorice. And I can do that because I don't care about the game. I don't care if you guys get screwed, because like the moment the game becomes too much, I just quit, bro. Meanwhile, if like everyone else that does not have money to like, that couldn't afford to like swipe for every character, well, fuck you. Now you just lose your favorite game because I screwed you over, basically, right? But I don't have to care. At the same time, he's not wrong. Is that like, if I don't care, I can also stop now. But like the point I'm trying to make is that like, if I don't care, I can stop now, or I can stop whenever after everything burns down. It does not matter to me because I don't care in the first place. That's me. That's just my take.
Well, I mean, I did too, but that's not only because of the gold passive or anything.
For
but,
sure.
It
was the levels of it, right? Like all of it compiling into one.
Well, yeah, but what I think it comes down to, MrPokke, is like, if you do believe that the global passives are bad, then you shouldn't pull it, because you are promoting them doing that. Like, they win in a way, and they see that as successful and that people will pull anyways. And then that kind of just makes it so they go, oh, okay, we're going to do this more. They become emboldened to it, right? If you accept that it is so.
Yeah, that's the same statement I always made when my friend keep buying Pokemon games. When Pokemon came out and like it looks like shit and like it has so many bugs and stuff like that, I told them that like, hey, you can do whatever you want, but if you truly love Nintendo and you want to better Pokemon games, you gotta stop paying, like you gotta stop giving them money when they make good, like bad shit. And he doesn't want to do it, so I guess Nintendo gonna keep doing it. I could work in a few hours. I'm gonna try and get sleep. Understandable. I hope you have a good night. Bye, Wolf. Thank you so much for stopping by and like sticking around. Sleep well, sleep dreams. I hope so. This video is still so long.
So bad, but then you do it anyway, you're only accelerating that process, I think, is more the issue. So even if you truly love the game, you would rather it not go down that path, is kind of how I say it, because I think you as well don't enjoy the global passive thing. So you keep playing the game, keep making
Have a good
content,
stream.
keep
Thank you,
doing
thank you.
whatever you want, but it's more like, I think people see pulling that character as you are essentially saying, yes, make more of this. I think that's people how see it. Even if you are pulling Castorice because you enjoy the character and the story, people see it as it's also a green light to those practices.
There's
Do you know what
something
it's
big
like?
though.
It's
Are they
like
gonna actually listen? Sorry.
Sorry, it's like Nintendo releasing $90 games for the first time and being the first one to do it. It's like, okay, you have a choice. You can like not buy the games if you don't want to do it, or you could like spend your money on the new games and then normalize it, and then every other game company is like, okay, they did it, now we'll all do it.
They actually brought up the Nintendo examples. Oh my god. Like, not pre-watch. At least not the call. I never pre-watched the call.
Too. And that's also a thing people care about. Other gacha companies will be like, oh shit, Hoyo's doing this thing, it's working, making a shit ton of money. Now it's a normalized practice. And that's also like a huge thing people give a shit about.
Yeah,
Well, I just want to make it like clear though, Pokey. Like, I'm not trying to judge you or insult you or anything. I'm just trying to explain like this is how people view it as, and that's why
right.
people view it as this thing where like pulling Castorice is a hypocritical or bad thing, because it's like you're essentially saying this is fine. That's kind of how people see it.
Okay, I feel like me personally, whether or not I pull for Castorice, it literally has like almost no impact because I have the early access server. I can play on my viewers account, I can play on my viewers account. Honestly, there's like so many different ways. But the reason why I wanted to pull Castorice to myself is because I just genuinely like playing her, and I like playing this game itself. And I don't know why I should be punished for not pulling a unit in the game that I like to enjoy. Because now, if I would pull Castorice, it's being
This is the exact. This sounds like the exact same argument that my friend made when they try to justify themselves buying Pokemon games. Is that like, oh, but like Game Freak tried so hard, and then like Nintendo is like, you've seen what Nintendo do. They're like, generally speaking, they're a better company than most, and like this is just how Nintendo games has always been, and stuff like that. And I'm like, bro, if you want it to be better, you gotta tell them no. You gotta speak with your wallet. You gotta vote with your wallet. But people don't do that, right? And that's why Pokemon game keeps coming up in 2 fucking version every single time. And back then it was for storage reason. Now it's just because fuck you. I know you'll buy both of them anyway. So yeah. I'm gonna play this and then I'm gonna switch my game.
linked with the connotation that, oh my god, I'm supporting a predatory practice. When at the end of the day, it's just because I simply like the unit, I want to play the game, I want to play the team. So why should I, as a consumer, not even, let's just get away from the gacha creating, why should I, as a consumer, be punished for not pulling for something in a game that I still enjoy?
Well,
Because you said bad thing. Because you said it's bad already. If you didn't say it's bad or not, if you just shut up and don't talk about it, it won't be a problem. New tech podcast. In a way, yeah. It was a gacha cast. I'm reacting basically to the drama about like MrPokke's podcast. I'm trying to like less like I'm hoping to like react less about the drama and more about like the statement that they make. And especially since like when I was at work earlier, I was listening to Sentontas basically watching the first like basically hour of the video or so. Like his reaction and like his statement, like MrPokke's statement. So I definitely have heard some stuff from like his statement, but I never knew about the full call. So right now we're going through the actual call. What they discussed is in this one. Can you give me TLDR? So the TLDR is that like they were talking about how you cannot like everyone else other than MrPokke here. They're trying to convince MrPokke, right? What they're trying to convince him is that like if you said global passive is bad, then like pulling for the character means like pulling for the character is going against your own word, because if it's a bad thing, why did you do it, right? Why support it if you say it's bad, right? And my take on it was that like it wouldn't have been a problem if MrPokke didn't say anything, or if MrPokke just owned up to it, right? the only problem, the only reason like like this whole thing turns into a drama is because like MrPokke is trying to constantly defend himself instead of like just taking the consequences in. Because like the problem goes way bigger than this. This is the actual call. This is like this where it all starts, but like the problem goes way bigger after that, because like this is like MrPokke's video. We're gonna like react to the whole like reaction after that. Like, but right now we just like reacting to like the source of like the problem, like the call. Because like if you said earlier, I was doing an explanation here, Lunaria. So I'm gonna use myself as an example, right? My opinion is that I hate gacha mechanic, right? I hate gacha mechanic. My action right now is that I play gacha games. And if you take into account both of these things, if I tell people this and then I do this, then that makes me a hypocrite, right? A hypocrite. Right? That makes sense? Makes sense so far? I would like to say it makes sense. I feel like I've been repeating this point enough that I can like kind of like explain it properly now. So if I'm a hypocrite, there's only two ways I can go through. I can just say, well, I do it because I love the game. I know I'm a hypocrite, but I love the games. And people are gonna meme me out. People are gonna talk shit about me for a day or two, and then people are gonna stop talking about it. People are gonna stop worrying about it. Or I can try to defend, I can try to defend myself and be like, oh, you don't understand, like like gacha games is not so bad. Gacha not bad. Which makes me even more of a hypocrite if I said this, right? Or if I said like, if I just said like, wait, man, even after that so much time I couldn't explain it. But like the point is that like the moment I try to defend myself, it makes the it causes the problem to never end. So the only way for me to actually solve this problem, to end the problem, is to own up and accept consequences. And accept consequences. This is the only solution so that the problem stops. If I constantly like if I keep trying to justify myself and defend myself, then like the conversation will never go anywhere. So just stop talking about it and just own up. Yeah, I still hate gacha mechanics until now. And like to people that don't have the money, I would never like tell them, like I would never seriously tell them to like swipe into like a game like this. I wouldn't even like, I would even go as far to say like if you don't like, if you're vulnerable to this kind of games, don't play it. But for me, I know my limits. I understand that this game is bad, and whatever money I've spent on this games is like a lost cause basically. And I take the L. And people kind of shit on me on that, and then they're gonna move on. So he contradict what he said and what he does. He tries to defend it. He's trying to play both sides basically. He's trying to say like it's like, I think an easier example is like the one that like was just mentioned. It's like a Nintendo games. there are some people out there that says like Nintendo could, why is Nintendo making a shitty Pokemon games, right? But they keep buying the game. At the same time, you know, at the same time, they keep criticizing Nintendo. Nintendo, why couldn't you make a Pokemon game? Pokemon Arceus come out, buys the game anyway. Why couldn't you make a better game? And then a Pokemon like Violet comes out, buys the game anyway. Why is the game so shitty? Buys Sword and Shield. Like, why do you think Nintendo keeps coming out with like the shitty games? And I'm not talking about like the story or anything like that. I'm just talking like as a game in general. Pokemon is like an outdated game, I feel like. It could be so much better, right? And there are people who complain about it and doesn't buy the game. There are people who lift up to what they said. There are people who buys the game and doesn't complain anyway. They knew what they're signing up to. And then there's the third kind of people, the people that try to justify what they're doing. Which is, that's the bad one. The people that is like playing defensive is the problem. Because like if something is bad and you're gonna keep doing it anyway, I think like another example would be like something like how like Nike and like Adidas are like made, like the shoes, like the sports shoes, they're like made by child labor, or like how like clothes that we have, like the cheap clothes that we got are like made by like overworked Chinese people, because like they have to work like 6 days, like 12 hours every day, right? And they barely like get day off. And like you can argue that like overworking is bad, but you can still also enjoy the clothes, right? Like let's agree that like overworking and child labor is bad. And that technically using the stuff that is like the result of like those problems is being hypocritical. It's just acknowledge it and move on. Don't try to defend yourself. The moment you try to play defensive, like the moment you try to defend yourself is when the problem like gets prolonged. So yeah.
Well, no, I mean, you're not gonna get punished. People are just gonna call you a hypocrite.
No, I'm being punished because I basically can't pull for Castorice. Because if I pull, I'm gonna be labeled as a hypocrite, and I'm gonna.
Do you see do you see like the problem is already? Tecton said, you don't, you're not being punished. You can pull for it. People are just gonna call you a hypocrite. Do you know what like the simplest way to say it? Your actions have consequences. And he was like, I don't like the consequences. If I pull for it, people are gonna call me a hypocrite, and I don't want that. And like, but bro, you already jumped into the hole the moment you said global passive is bad. Right? Just own up to it. If you just accept it like, hey, people are gonna call me a hypocrite and I don't care, the problem is solved. The problem stops there. People call you Hoyoshil, and so that's it. Hello, Lazy. Hi, Gio. Welcome to the stream. We're just reacting to like the recent drama. Just say I'm addicted and I F up. The problem gonna poof and people will move on. Yeah, you can say that. You can just say like, hey, I'm addicted. I love the game so much. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm gonna do. What are you gonna do about it? See, also, have you watched Jurassic World Rebirth trailer yet? I actually haven't. Is it like a newest like Jurassic show? Is that a movie? It's like a movie. Is it like a movie in a theater or something? Because like I haven't gone to the theater for a while. But yeah, let's move on with this because I wasn't expecting the video to be this long.
But I'm supporting a predatory practice.
Well, I think
And
That's
obviously,
it.
I wouldn't want that to happen.
well, I mean,
That's as far as it goes. Like that's it, right? That's the
there's-
conversation.
Yeah, see, she's pointing out exactly what I'm saying. Is that like that's only like if that's what you're gonna do, then do it, and then that's how far people are gonna go. They're gonna call you a Hoyoshil. They're gonna call you a hypocrite, and then that's it. By the way, the global thingy are from Genshin Impact on HSR. No, So Honkai Star Rail have a new character called Castorice, right? And Castorice has something called GP, or Global Passive. So what happened is that if you pull for this character, you're gonna get a special effect, like you're gonna get like a revival effect for every team that you have in your game. Whether she's on, it doesn't matter if you use her on the team or not. The passive is global, so it's gonna affect your team regardless of whether it's like she's on the team or not. And that's why people are having problem with it, right? Because that means like every character that have global passive is gonna be a must pull. Not even on the team. Yeah, no, that's the problem, right? Because now every character becomes must pull, because now you get benefits even when a character is not on the party. Like, think about it. Like, it's less because of like, oh, I cannot make a super break team because I did not pull for Firefly. That's like one team, right? You can still do other things with different team, but like without Castorice, you just lose an entire buff, and that's why people are having problem with it. And new Jurassic World movie, I have not. I like, if it's coming up to the movie theater, I might probably wait a while, because like I don't, like I said, I don't really go to theater anymore. I'll probably wait until like it got released on the internet. But yeah. And the whole problem is that like he already said that global passive is bad, but then he said he's gonna pull for it. And that's what people are quote unquote attacking him on. It's because you cannot say things are bad and then I'm gonna, like, you cannot say things are bad, like bad, right? Things bad. Support it. And then try to act that you're right. Right? Like this formula down here, it does not work. If you know something is bad and you know you're gonna do it anyway, just own up to it. Don't say this. Just say that it's bad and I'm gonna do it anyway. What you gonna do about it? That's literally what I said like when I was playing gacha games, right? Is that like, I know gacha mechanics is bad and I'm gonna keep saying gacha mechanic is bad, but I also gonna play the games that I like. What you gonna do about it? And people are gonna call me hypocrite. People are gonna talk shit about me for that one time, and then moved on. Problem is solved. But if you keep defending about it, if you keep trying to try to make yourself look good, then it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna cause the problem to continue.
Yeah,
The
that's like,
hypocrite. Okay.
yeah, if you do,
Doesn't
So I
matter.
should just be fine with it.
yeah, just say, okay, yeah, you're right. I can't practice what I preach, and then just do it, and then just say, fuck it, fuck
Yeah, just say fuck it.
everybody.
Like, do it. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know if you guys ever watch like Linus Tech Tips. Here, let me search something. Linus Tech Tips. Shit. I cannot find it. But not owning up, nothing bad with being a hypocrite here and there. It's a human nature. Exactly. It's something that everyone does. Just don't try to be like, oh, I'm not a hypocrite. Like no, bro, everyone is. Just own up. Own up and get it over with. Like, for I'm trying to find an example, but I couldn't. Basically, like, I watched this guy called Linus Tech Tips, which is like a tech YouTuber, and what he always says is like do as I say, not as I do. I think that's like such a good example of like being a hypocrite and then owning up to it. That is like such a, that one line is such an it encompasses like the essence of like this whole drama. Do as I say, not as I do, because I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. I'm gonna preach, I'm gonna preach the gospel, but like don't follow what I'm gonna do, because I'm still gonna do whatever the fuck I want. But yeah, moving on.
What am I even preaching exactly?
Well,
That
then you
people
just-
shouldn't pull for Castorice?
Well, yeah,
And also like they sound like this because I speed up the video because I don't want to get stuck on it too long, but I think like people are starting to like talking like faster and faster, so like having a hard time understanding, like for most people, I think.
you just made a whole video on like the global passive being bad.
Right, but how does that change anything with people that still want to play for Castorice though? Like
What does it change? It changed nothing for the people that wants to do it. But you doing it after saying that makes people that not pulling for it now want to pull for it. Because like he's an influencer, right? Like as a content creator, you guys are influencer. What you do on stream is gonna affect other people, like people that are watching you. So like you're setting a bad example if you set, doing all of this live in front of thousands of people are setting up a bad example. And that's why these people are trying to tell him to not do it, because he already said global passive is bad. Like if he never said global passive is bad and he pulled for like Castorice anyway, like no one's gonna fucking care. They're gonna meme about it for one day, for one reaction video. Like maybe like when he was doing the poll, they're gonna be like, oh my god, this guy is supporting that global, like that, he's supporting Hoyo, he's a Hoyo show, he's supporting the global passive, and then that's it. People are gonna move on after that. But because he said something beforehand, because he said the global passive is bad, now MrPokke is putting himself in a difficult spot now. Because as he said, right, I want to pull for the character. Like, I want to pull because I love the character. And like, sure. But if you're going to do it, just know that people are going to call you a hypocrite. Just accept the consequence of your actions.
would that global passive do? Like if with or without this global passive, people still can play Castorice, right? Like it is unfortunate that Castorice now is a global passive, but why does that has to limit the player base that actually want to play Castorice?
Well, I
Why
think that
must
people,
it be linked with a company's predatory practice?
I don't
'Cause,
think
no,
people
the-
who
like,
are
it's-
pulling on them have a problem with it, right? The casual
don't
community just
care.
doesn't care, right? But like
So then
what
you-
we're saying is don't act like you care and then pull it. That's all.
Yeah, that's what that's what they're saying. If you care, then don't do it. If you don't care, don't say anything. Or if you already said it and now you're gonna do it anyway, then accept that people are gonna call you shit. That's it. That's the way to solve all the problems, right? But like he already had problems with like people like people are gonna call me a hypocrite if I said global passive is bad and then pull for it, and like bro, you already knew, so just accept it and move on. But he didn't move on, and that's why it's becoming such a big drama right now.
All we're saying, right? Just say, oh, no, I don't
But
really
I
give
do
a fuck.
care. But I do
Okay.
care about it. So why can't I just pull it, even though I like playing the game?
Okay. Because well, you know what people are gonna say. They're gonna say,
See how they're laughing, because like they already knew that like you cannot just like you cannot escape from the consequences like that. Basically, I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna keep repeating myself, but I really want to like drill the point down. If you have the right opinion, well, actually, no. No one will bat an eye. No. Here's the thing: people will bat an eye. There is a consequence, Lunaria. People are gonna call him a hypocrite, but they're gonna call him a hypocrite one time. They're gonna make a reaction video one time, and then the problem goes away. it's not that there's no consequences. It's just the consequences would not be prolonged. The problem is not prolonged. Let me try to give context. Because right now, there's like 3 consequences that you can have, right? If you pull character, no say. If you didn't say anything but you pull the character, then you basically support. Wait, actually no. Yeah, I think this has this same exact like doing this action has the same exact result. Is that like people are gonna call you names. The problem is that if you say something about it, they're gonna call you a hypocrite too. Because not only are you supporting not only you're supporting the bad direction, now you're being a hypocrite by saying that it's bad while you're doing it. I don't know how I can explain. Man, I keep losing my thoughts here. I'm trying my best to like simplify things, but I feel like I'm failing really hard right now and live on stream. Even though I'm gonna like use this. Oh my god, this is really 2 hours. Okay, there's 3 consequences. There's 3 consequences in this situation that he will have to face one or another. Okay, there's 3. 1, if he does not support it and like if he doesn't want to be a hypocrite, there is a way. That is to not pull the character. The consequences is that he won't have the character, right? No character. Now, if he pulls for the character and he's like, if he already said the word, right? And if he pulls for the character anyway, people are gonna call him a hypocrite, right? But if he didn't say anything and then he pulled for the character, the consequences is in the future, the game's gonna be worse. The game is gonna be worse because he support the company. Support the decision. So this is the consequences. Either you don't have the character that you want, you're gonna be called hypocrite for pulling for the character, even though you said it's a bad game design. But like if you think it's not a bad design and then you pull for the character, you're basically screwing everyone else with this one. There's still consequences. It's just not gonna be for you for now. Maybe. I mean, if you love the character, if you love the game, you would rather see it like thrive, right? So like, if the game keeps going this way, eventually people will leave and then the game will close down. So technically, you will suffer, just not now. But all of these have consequences. And the problem is that like he already get rid of like these consequences by saying the global passive. Like the global passive is a problem. By saying that, he already locked himself out of like one of the options. So now he can either not have the character on his account or be called a hypocrite. And the problem is that he refused to get both. He refused to accept both consequences. He refused to choose his like He refused to pay for his decision because he wants to have the character. He wants to have the character and not be called a hypocrite too. That's what he wanted. He wants the perfect ending. And like the problem in the perfect ending is that like in order to have a perfect ending in a game, you need to make the perfect decision. And here, if you already made a mistake in the first part, then there's just usually there is no way to get the perfect ending. Okay, moving on.
Hey, well, clearly you don't care that much if you still fall.
I mean, I think
I,
this
I
is a matter
think
of
this
being a content
I think
creator.
this train logic just doesn't make sense to me because I should be very well in my own right to just still enjoy the game and play the game that I want to play while still saying that
He is. He is saying as if like if people called him a hypocrite, suddenly he cannot play the game. Like no, you can still play the game while being called a hypocrite. Like look at me. I said gacha game is bad, and I can still enjoy Wuthering Wave, and like all other game I played. Right, I played Snowbreak, I played Nikkei, I played like Girls Frontline 2. Like if people call me a hypocrite, I just be like, yeah, I guess I am now, and then move on.
global passive is a bad thing.
Well,
Yeah,
I
but-
think
So
you
this global
can-
passive, let's just say if global passive didn't happen on Castorice, it happened on an Nexa, it happened on like Mighty or whatever. But why should that stop me as a player from putting these units? Why should it always be linked to the oh my god, I'm supporting a predatory practice when at the end of the day we're all fucking
Because you're a content creator and you're doing it live on stream in front of 3,000 people. No one would care if it were me, MrPokke, because I only have like one viewer. Like, no, as a player, no one would care. As a content creator, people would care. Because you're like,
playing the game.
this is crazy.
Okay, so
Well,
once
you
again,
you accept though that you do play gacha games and that it is an evil or essentially like a bad thing, right? So
So, I think I'm gonna guess what he's gonna say. So just do the same thing with the global passive. Accept that it is bad, and you're gonna do it anyway.
I think what they're saying is you should also accept that pulling Castorice is also a bad thing, and you're going kind of against what you are what you're preaching essentially. Maybe preach isn't the best word,
Exactly.
but essentially what you're saying is this is bad, but then you're pulling it anyways. So it's the same as the gacha argument. So you just have to accept you're doing something
Yeah,
bad.
he just have to accept it, but he refused to do it.
I think that's what they're trying to say.
Or people can also come to the conclusion, oh, people just want to have fun in gacha game. And
Yeah.
if that's gonna make the day, then so be it.
Yeah, no. What are you on? Like you're basically agreeing with him, right?
right, but like, you don't understand that if someone's going live and saying this is really bad, this is going to destroy the game, this is horrible for the game state, but I pulled it anyways. It's like you don't get like how that's just like people are going to call you a hypocrite for that.
Okay, then am I supposed to lie and say I love global passive? You know, like I actually love global passive and like, it's the best thing in the world.
No. Why he keeps trying to make everything black and white. He keeps trying to make I can only do this and this. I can only do it one way. Like no. He's doing anything but accepting accepting the consequences. Like lying also have consequences. Is that like you're gonna be called hypocrite by like you're not gonna be called hypocrite. You're gonna be called like a fucking Hoyo show. It's just a different consequence. Like it's a different form. There are still consequences in there. So I don't know why he's being so against it.
Then what am I
Just
supposed
own
to do?
it.
I
Just own it.
yeah, I think you're going to two extremes. You're just going to two extremes.
Yeah, like you're choosing like black or white. You cannot understand that there's a middle ground there.
I think you want to have your cake and eat it too. I think that's the issue.
He's so right about that. Like I said, he wants to be able to have the character and not be called out as a hypocrite. Have the cake, eat it too.
Right?
Okay, so I'm supposed to
Egg?
not love global passive, and I'm supposed to not pull Castorice, or I'm supposed to love global passive, and only then can I pull for Castorice. Is that the logic?
No, he's trying to black and white this shit again. It's like talking to a brick wall. Bro, I'm not even part of the conversation. I don't even know any of the. Well, I met Tectone before, once. Like, take a photo with him. Chill guy. I guess he was a bit pissed off when I took a photo with him. But overall, he seems kind of chill.
No, or just don't care.
No,
What do you guys
people
want him
will
to
call you a
do?
hypocrite no matter what, man, essentially in this situation.
Mm.
So like you just have to accept, yeah, okay.
So in this position, he said this guy, I keep forgetting his name, Genocide. Yeah, Genocide. He said that because Pokke already said that global passive is bad. So like I said earlier, he already got rid of like one of his options. He already got rid one of his like 3 ways like he can go with. He already choose one path and like there's no going back from there. So yeah.
Okay, people are gonna call me that. I don't like the global passives, but I pulled it anyways. Yeah. Okay, fine. That goes
I
against.
think there's
what
there's not a
whatever.
single scenario here where I can come out like me doing the right thing.
There-
Because
I'm
you
gonna be
can't
real.
make me
No, there is no right things.
not like the game. Like I do like the game. So why must I be forced to either not care about global passive or think that global passive is a bad thing, and at the same time I can't prove Castorice, or think that global passive is a good thing, and then only then I can prove Castorice?
You see, here's
Doesn't
the
make sense to
thing.
me.
There is actually no winning because the company is doing something that's bad and it is affecting you. There is
Yeah, there is no. He's so tech school. He is living in Singapore right next time I go there by the round with MrPokke if I met him. No, Lambao. I don't even know where he lived, bro. All I know is that like he's trying to have a shonen protagonist moment where like going against the odd and then still came out winning. That's not how life works. You're living in a bad situation. Sometimes there's just no way out. Sometimes the only way to go like to leave is to go through it, to tank the damage, right? And he refuses to tank the damage, but he refuses to stay in the line too. He wants to leave, but he doesn't want to get damaged. He doesn't want to get attacked. And that's the problem.
There's actually no winning here for you, Pokey. Realistically, you either
Okay, so I
lose
should
out
just
on
quit the
having
game
fun
then.
with the. No,
No one's saying
but
that.
like it's not about quitting the game. It's just basically saying like I still like the game. I still like Castorice, even though I hate the global passive thing. I'm still just gonna enjoy the game. You guys can like hate on me for that, but whatever. I still like the game and the pass.
Yeah, it's the example that I was making earlier. You know, gacha mechanics is bad. No matter how you spin it, gacha mechanic is bad. Wuthering Wave might be more generous of a gacha game than other games. It's still a gacha game. Which is why, like, if someone tries to, like, you know, if someone asks me, hey, what games should I play? I would probably still recommend something like Baldur's Gate or Elden Ring more than, like, Wuthering Wave. Even though it's good, but, like, it's also a gacha game. You know, I'm pretty sure I spend more money than in here than maybe even, like, probably not my Steam account. My Steam account is pretty expensive, but I spend a lot of money on this game that I wouldn't spend otherwise on like other games, and I don't have to on other
and the
games.
passive sucks. Hopefully they don't do it too much in the future. I
Okay,
think it's just.
I
as
guess the
simple as
question
that.
is
There's no
why should a person hate a content creator for enjoying the game?
Well,
I
the
don't
thing
think
is, this
anybody's.
is
I don't
what
think
it-
anybody. I don't
No,
think
the
anybody's.
No one's gonna hate you. Well, some maybe.
thing is-
People love drama.
He just said it. He just said it.
No,
He
no,
just
no.
said that you're gonna have to come to terms with the fact that people are gonna hate me for playing.
No,
Castorice.
they're gonna
Oh
say
my
they're
God.
gonna hate on you, but also people will
Yeah,
hate
they're gonna
you for
hate
whatever.
on you. Yeah.
That's just
Yeah,
the
the
thing as
thing
being
is-
a
Anything you
content creator.
do. Anything you
Realistically,
do is
Okay.
like it.
this.
So
the
wouldn't
thing
it
is,
be like
you were
Okay,
put
yeah,
into
go
this
for it.
position because of this entire situation with the global passives. It is a lose-lose situation.
I just thought of like a perfect example, right? I just thought of like an example that I think is perfect, right? Do you guys ever play Elden Ring? So in Elden Ring, there's a chest in a game that will transport you to a random to a different area. The trap chest, teleportation chest, whatever they call it, right? The moment you get caught on it, there's only one way to solve the problem. You have to go through the thing. It's a bad situation, you know. You might, you know, depending on like when you get caught by the trap, you might be under leveled against the enemies, and the only way for you to leave the like the area you're on is to beat the enemies and then go through them. And going through them, usually, you know, you're gonna get hit, you're gonna die once or twice. Maybe you're good at the game and you don't get hit at all. But you still like, the moment you get trapped, the moment the bad situation happens, it already happened. Like the best way you can do is mitigate the loss, you know. Even if you don't get killed in the cave, right? It's, you already got teleported to somewhere, like to another place. The problem already happened. So you cannot expect to be, no, I don't want, you know, I don't want that. I wanna like keep all my runes and then go back to like my previous area with it. Like, you know, I wanna be as if like the trap never existed, and that's not how it works. I don't know. I now that I'm saying it, I don't know if it's a good example or not, but I really hope it makes sense.
For you no matter what, and it sucks. People are going to hate content creators in any sort of space when these kinds of things happen, whether they support something or they go against something. That's just realistic how it is. You're honestly just unlucky that you're put into this position that Hoyoverse essentially created the gold passive, realistically. And we're not saying anyone should hate on you for anything. It's just this is an inevitability that will happen. And it sucks, but like, you basically just have to choose, am I going to pull the character and then people will call me like a hypocrite? Am I not going to pull them, but then I don't get to have fun? It just kind of sucks. That's all there is to it. We're not saying what's right or wrong exactly of what people should be saying to you. It's just, this is what's going to happen.
I feel the irony is this environment where you say that people will hate on me because of this character thing, at least it's not something that is very prevalent, because especially for majority of playbase, I think you guys have seen it, very few people actually care about this. And the people that actually do care about this a lot, they probably are halfway through the door of creating Honkai Star already. Because let's just be real, every single people in this room, you guys probably don't really play this out that much anymore, right?
Yeah.
No.
I would say I played quite a bit until recently, and then Amphorius, the launch of Amphorius killed all enjoyment that I have. So I'd probably say in the past 18 weeks, I have not played that much.
Same.
Right. So I think my bottom line is, if the majority of the player base are feeling like, okay, this thing's happening, but I'm still gonna be able to enjoy the game, why isn't it on the community that says, oh my god, this guy is or like hate on this guy? Why should a content creator be getting hate in the first place when he is playing this game by playing for this unit?
Because people are watching you, right? People are gonna make judgment. I'm also still, you know, like earlier example, I had a friend that like keeps buying Pokemon games and then like also complaining about like how the game sucks, like how the game like looks like shit and stuff like that. And like I'd keep telling them like, hey, like the only way for you to solve, like the only way for this problem to get solved is like if every Pokemon fans stop buying Pokemon games. And then like he started defending the game instead of like, you know, at first he was talking shit about the game and then he started defending the game. And I'm like, I'm just saying, man, if you keep buying the game's gonna stay that way. You can still keep doing it. I mean, if you enjoy it, like you can keep doing it, right? So, let's buy a couple pills. Yeah, it's like imagine like a smoker is smoking in front of you, and then like when you want to try, they be like, no, don't smoke. Smoking is bad for you. I'm definitely gonna judge you like as a hypocrite, right? But then if you keep defending yourself, I'm gonna keep calling you that, you know. Like that's the thing. You keep the moment they keep defending themselves is the moment where the problem escalates and like it keeps getting recycled. Like the cycle continues. Like if they just own up to it and like, yeah, I am addicted to smoking. Like I'm sorry. Like I'm on therapy right now. and I'm working on it, like I would stop. I would, I would stop saying that, or like maybe like, I like smoking, but like I also know that I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die from a lung cancer. Like it doesn't matter for me, and I don't care. And like I would also stop talking to you after that. Whether it is like through acceptance or like through grievance, like I'm still gonna like stop talking like about it. I'm only gonna keep calling you hypocrite if you keep trying to defend yourself. And that's exactly what he's doing right now, and that's why like people keep like shitting on him.
Well,
Is it
I think
because
we've already addressed
he's
that.
facing this moral dilemma, right? Like if you were to pull for casual, then you are going to be supporting predatory practices.
No,
What do you
Well,
guys
the thing
want
is,
out
I
of
mean-
him here? Might I ask? Like, what do you want from him? Like, what do you want from MrPokke here? Sorry to.
Oh, I
interrupt.
don't. I mean, I don't especially want anything, but I mean, all I would say, MrPokke, is like I think people are just gonna be mad at you no matter what you do, essentially, and you just kind of have to ignore them. And I think the more you care, the more people are going to just use that against you. Honestly, MrPokke.
I think it's more like the people. The
By
people
the way,
that
I have no
hate on
dog in
me-
this fight, man. Like I'm
Right,
just
right, right.
trying to
Absolutely,
explain
yeah.
what
No,
I'm
none of
doing.
you guys really care that much about results, anyways. But I feel that people that you mentioned, they are gonna hate on me because no matter what I do, people that hate on me for pulling for Castorice because it's a global passive. I would say there's a very minority group of people because I feel
yeah.
that when
Yeah.
I'm playing the game and if I want to play
but they're doing that because you already said, like, because you started this whole thing by saying global passive is bad, right? You already set yourself down this path. It's not, it sucks, but like you made your choice already earlier.
Castorice and all that kind of stuff,
It's like a choice matter in like a dialogue. It's like once you made your dialogue and then like you get like two shitty endings, then like if life is like a game, maybe you can reload your save, but like life is not a game, unfortunately. I wish I can reload my save.
I'm still well within my own enjoyment and I have fun doing this kind of stuff I'm doing.
Yeah, just do
Whereas
it.
the people that say, "Oh my god, why can this guy? How dare he pull for Castorice because he's global passive?" I think it's more like on these people, and I'm questioning why should these people even have like give two shits about me pulling in the first place? Because I don't think it
Because
has
they
any
choose to,
connotation with
bro.
Me supporting a predatory practice. Like just the simple act of me pulling for Castorice, it doesn't equate to me supporting global passives or predatory practice.
You
Okay, so
are.
let's just-
At least
I
from my
just- I
POV,
feel- I
I
feel
like
What do you mean? You are. By pulling for the character, you're basically telling the company you can do this more. And like just own up to it, bro.
the game. I want to play the unit.
I feel like this issue is just so simple, right? Like there is a way that you win, and that's
That's why, like, if everyone asks me, should companies make more gacha game? My answer would be no. But I'm gonna still keep playing what like the game that exists already in either way, and like if that makes the if that action results in more gacha games, then like so be it. That is the consequences of my actions. Partly, it's not like I have that much influence.
putting your morals above your enjoyment for a game, and then you win. You're like, yep, the character's bad. I don't like it. Even though I want to play it, I'm not going to pull it because I don't think it's good for the direction of the game. And I feel like that's just a win. You don't want to do that. That's fine. Then just say, yeah, you're right, guys. I know I said it was bad, but I pulled it anyways because it's fun. People are going to shit on you. Oh, well.
That's just
So
being
the
a
win
content
is
creator.
the win is me putting my morals higher than my personal enjoyment because
Yeah,
not
of course.
pulling casuals is the moral thing to do.
No, for what you have said, right? For what you have said, which is this is bad for the game. It's very predatory.
Right.
CN, look
Right.
at this. All this bullshit with Sunday, right? It's not looking good. I don't like this for my game.
See what he said based on what you said. So like this is he's giving him the best solution based on his current situation. I even stopped my monthly and complained in the survey on Wuwa when Viva came out because it's not friends to like it's not F2P friendly, and I don't support Kuro with the half bad implementation because I want the game to be better. Yeah. And you can, you can keep doing that, or you can just be like, hey, Viva is still bad. Like right now, right? You guys know how much I glaze. Like Wuthering Wave is not a perfect game, guys. It did a lot of things right, but it's still a gacha games, and it still has its own problems. Like, do you guys want to know like what games I think is like most like closest to perfect? It's like games like Skyrim. I love games like Skyrim. Elden Ring, I think it's almost perfect. Baldur's Gate, I think it's almost perfect. But like gacha games, I don't think will ever be perfect to me, because like at the end of the day, gacha games are always designed to be, the more you pay, the more, the further you get. Like it's paying for power. So like by definition itself, like it'll never be like a 10 out of 10 game for me. But that does not mean I cannot enjoy the game. So like the best way to be fair to a game for me is like right now, is that instead of avoiding it like fully, renew my melon only when Chris's one came out because it's fun and with no timer, it's free to play friendly. Oh, well there you go. Welcome back. I mean, they still haven't fixed Wiwa, right? So technically, Wiwa is still a problem right now. But anyway.
So I'm not going to pull for it, right? Now, it would have been no issue if you said, I don't care. But it's just because you said that you cared, but now your actions are going against what you said you cared about. Hopefully that makes sense.
But I do care though. I can't pretend I don't care because I care a lot about this game.
But you don't care enough to not pull.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the whole child labor and like overworking, like Chinese workers getting overworked like situation. Is that like, I care about them. Like if it were up to me, if I became the president of China, or if I became someone that is powerful enough to change this situation, if I became Sung Jin Wo, like a freaking solo leveling character. How long the podcast? Oh, this podcast, like the actual call, I think it's only half an hour. So yeah, I kind of like yap too much. But anyway, back to the example. If I'm like the freaking solo leveling main character and I control the world and I can change everything, then I would erase freaking gacha games from existence. I would ban gacha games because I have the power. But like, reality is I don't have the power. I can only do what is within my power, and like, I have to draw the line and like compromise. Basically, is that like in principle I don't like gacha games, but in reality a lot of the games that I like happens to be gacha games. It's a matter of compromise, right? And it's also a matter of compromise to accept the consequences. Is that like, global passive is bad, but I still like the game. Like the story is still good. I want like, I love the character, especially after watching like Castorice like trailer PV. Like she's so like sad and like I really want her, so I'm gonna do it anyway. And then people are gonna call you a hypocrite, and then like yeah, I'm a hypocrite. Sorry guys. And then the problem is solved. But he doesn't want that. He wants to not be called a hypocrite and still get to have the characters. And that's not how life works, bro. This ain't a fucking manhwa.
Why should me caring about global passive affect my decision of wanting to play Castorice as a unit itself?
Because of what Castorice represents.
So she represents predatory practice?
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
The worst one in pretty much gacha history in the past 10 years.
Yeah, it's a new step. It's a step in the wrong direction. So even, she can be both a good character and also a gateway to a bigger problem. If anything, I think they do it, deliberately, They make the gate of the problem a very, very good character, so people feel inclined to pull for it. So I'd say this is like MiHoYo did the perfect move. This is MiHoYo doing checkmates basically on like the freaking community, because now you be like, it's like a divide and conquer basically, because now people are gonna be like, oh my god, like they're hoping that they're hoping that with like how good the character are, people are gonna ignore the upcoming problem of like global passive. I think that's what they're trying to do. That's what I would do as a businessman. That's a really good business move.
Okay, so I basically blacklist Castorice. So even though she might be a very fun unit, I need to be going above and beyond that and sacrifice my fun and just don't pull for Castorice.
If that's what you want to do, but if you don't want to do it, then you don't have to do it. I'm just saying if you...
No, it's not about the yeah. But it's like the right thing, right? It's the right thing to do. It's not about whether I want it, but it's like the right thing.
Yeah, like 100%. Like there are business.
He's trying to make this right and wrong. This is all just a matter of perspective, MrPokke. This is just common sense. This is like you're trying to. This is basically like Thanos trying to like rationalize himself. It's like right is a matter of perspective. Accepting the global passive can be right if you're a Hoyo shill, if you're someone that like supports Hoyo unconditionally. Hating Hoyo is the right thing if you're a freaking like a Kuro bot, for example. Or like you're a like HSR enjoyer that like always said like Genshin could never. That for them, that's the right thing, right? To hate on Genshin. But like right is like it's really subjective. What is not subjective is the consequences of your actions. If you do pull for it during this situation, they're gonna call you a hypocrite. That is a fixed outcome. And if you don't do it, then you're gonna have a bad time because you don't enjoy, you don't get to enjoy your favorite character. That is a fixed outcome too. But like for the right thing really depends on your priority. Do you prioritize your morals, or do you prioritize like satisfying your cravings of like wanting to use the character, right? Either way is the right way, depending on how you look at it.
Businessmen, right? And businessmen are going to do businessmen shit, right? I had this conversation with Brax the other day. He was like, yeah, you're right. I am being pretty hypocritical. I had this conversation with Brand Online the other day where I said, why the fuck are you going live and saying Malvika's banner is so bad and then you C6 the damn unit? And he said, yeah, you're right. I'm being hypocritical. And that's pretty much it. Just say, oh, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, it's pretty hypocritical. Pull it anyways. Go have your fun. You know what I mean? That's just pretty much it. But I think you're sweating this a lot more than it needs to be sweat. Because like you're right.
No, just
like,
because
the
there's been
majority
this
of people do
sentiment going
care.
around, like yeah, like I just think that there's been this sentiment going around me where like, oh my god, I'm supporting predatory practice when I feel like my bottom line is I like playing this game, I like playing this unit, and there's nothing too deep about it. I just like playing this game. But I need to stop this narrative. And I guess right now, from the way you say it, the only way I can stop this narrative is because since people think Castorice is like the predatory unit, I just don't put her and put her above my enjoyment.
Right? Yeah, and honestly, whether you do or whether you don't, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, your chat doesn't care. Your chat will not give a fuck. The people who don't watch you definitely care, right? So, I mean, honestly, if you want to play the character, you can. You'll always have a Honkai Star Rail chat, and they'll say, yeah, MrPokke, zero cycle that shit with Castorice. But, like, for your own words, the minority of people who do care, yeah, they're going to shit talk you, but it is what it is. But I do think it's pretty fair to say, if you think this thing is bad, well, then don't interact with it.
Sure.
Yeah, because I think the only reason why people would call you that is because you said, oh, you have an issue with it. It's like the same thing when I had an issue with Genshin's weapon banner. I said it was bad, so I stopped pulling on it until they added the pity system in, right? So it's like...
Me having an issue with global passive doesn't mean I have an issue with Castorice as a unit.
Well, but she has one, though. But she has one, though.
Right.
But she has a global passive. Therefore, it became her problem now. This dude is still trying to justify getting a Castorice without, he's still trying to justify getting a Castorice without being shit on. It's insane. I don't even know this guy. but I'm getting mad already. How can people like this survive? Because if you're in my country, right, and you try to act like this, you're probably gonna Lunaria. We're from the same country, right? If there's someone like this, acting like this in your neighborhood, what do you think is gonna happen? Especially if they're like with the village kids. They're gonna act like this. They'd be, like for me, I feel like they would be lucky if they didn't they didn't get their ass beaten the shit out of them. I'd consider him lucky if someone didn't like kick him like from the fucking like motorcycle. Like, bro, can't be that privileged. I'll be right back. I need to go to the bathroom again. Fuck, it's almost 3 hours and I haven't finished the freaking video call.
So one bomb, right? I just gotta skip.
If you care to put what you're preaching.
I think they've inside he acknowledged it and he don't want to say it, and he publicly. Yeah, he just don't want to. He just don't want to face the consequences. Also, I'm back.
Above your enjoyment of the game, yes. But if you want to go have fun, yeah, just take it on the chin. People are going to shit on you for a little bit.
But the thing is, I'm not preaching for people to skip Castorice though. I'm preaching that I'm saying global passive is a bad thing. And it's just very unfortunate that right now, at least the chat I'm seeing, there's no there's no gray line, right? It's basically Castorice is a bad unit, and if you pull, you're a bad person. So now you gotta skip her. Even though she's as a unit by herself, she's very interesting. Oh my god, she's very interesting. She's bringing new HP mechanic in version 3. But unfortunately, because she has the global passive, we gotta skip, right?
No, okay, so once again, nobody is shitting on anybody for pulling Castorice. They're
But you guys are though.
No, hold up.
You guys literally are shitting.
Hold up, I'm adding the addendum. People are only shitting on people who are saying Castorice is bad, she's bad for the game, and then pulling her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If someone said, I love, like,
Yeah.
they genuinely don't care about global passive, and then they pull Castorice, no one has an issue, right? It's like, okay, you don't care anyway, who cares what?
Yeah.
The
By the
opinion
way,
is.
I'm not shitting on anybody of any sort. I just don't care. But I'm just
I like how
explaining.
it's
how
always
people see
don't
it.
care. But the thing is, a lot of people do.
I mean, OMG Poke, if you buy that unit, the next unit will be more bad, make the game worse. Yeah. Guess what? The only people that are suffering are like not Poke. If you guys think about it, right? I said this earlier. I'm gonna set it again, especially since Lunaria just got here. But there is a people that don't care are the people with the least, the less you like. How do I say this? It's not gonna affect him, basically. What you're saying. Why? Because he makes money out of it. This is his job. He's gonna keep spending money. He's gonna always have money for the new character, and he's gonna keep spending for the character. This is all just business expenses for him. You know who's gonna suffer if like the game keeps going to this direction? It's people that plays like free to play, people that only buys Welkin, people that only buys like battle passes, people that cannot afford $500 to $1,000 every fucking patches for new characters. Those are the people that are gonna get affected. That's why I said earlier, like there's another form of consequences. Is that like if you become a Hoyo shield and then you be like, hey, global passive is good, I'm gonna pull for it. The consequences is not gonna happen now. It's gonna happen later when the game closes down because everyone gets, because people wouldn't be able to afford it down the line when the game gets too much power creep, when every character becomes a requirement and then now everyone has to be pulled. Now like not like less people are gonna be able to keep up with that, and then eventually the game closed down, and then you will suffer because the game closed down. But as long as the game exists, you won't suffer because you get to enjoy the game that you love, right? And like this also applies to people that don't care about the game. If you think about it, if people don't care about it, they can just keep playing, they can just keep pulling for whatever they want, and like if the game closes down, I never liked the game anyway. Why should I care? I never cared about the game anyway, right? I just played just because. If the game exists, yeah, I play it. If the game closes down, who the fuck cares? So like the people that get screwed are the people the people that get screwed are the people that care and they're fucking broke.
Do care. And especially why this is even the topic of discussion for this guy.
Oh yeah,
Because a lot of people
care.
do care about this. Even though like almost I would say like 80% of people probably don't even pay attention in the first place.
A lot of people do. Just because you cannot hear what they say does not mean like I, for example, keep saying that gacha game is bad. I keep saying that Nintendo is making like shitty Pokemon games, but like, just because you cannot hear me does not mean I'm not here. Hello. A lot of people care. It's just not a lot of people, MrPokke, have 5,000 viewers or 3,000 viewers like you do. Some of us are just a grain in the like, a grain of sand in the beach.
Because it's
Some
not
people take this
representing
shit really
what.
seriously, and it can be dangerous. You can feel really, really bad. You can feel victimized. You guys are way bigger than I am, and I know that you must get like some really, really bad shit said to you, like over just trying to have fun in games and shit. I get
The
it.
thing is, I feel like it's really just very unfortunate that Castorice, as of at least the chat that I'm seeing around, the community I'm seeing right now, she's a unit that represents to you guys that okay, she is global passive.
Yep.
And if you pull Castorice, you are supporting global passive.
Because it's part of her kit. You cannot just separate those two because it's part of her. Because that's the way they designed the game. That is exactly their intention. It's for you to not be able to separate the global passive and like how good of a character she is. So you'll pull for it. It's called a business move.
And it's unfortunate it is this way. It's no longer if you want to pull Castorice, it's because you want to play Castorice. And since there can be, you know,
No, you can do it. Just you know that actions have consequences.
no in between in this place, then I guess the moral thing to do is to skip Castorice, which I just think is very, very unfortunate.
It is the moral thing to do. Does not mean does not mean you have to do it. It is the moral thing to do. Ideally, I would never play gacha games at all. Ideally. But you all seeing what I'm playing right now on the screen, right?
I agree. It sucks. As I wanted to pull Castorice too, because she looks fucking awesome.
She looks nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, like she looked.
The thing.
Yeah.
Pokey, the thing is, like, that's why I'm saying, like, it's not really your fault that you were thrown into this situation. It's just an
Yeah. It's just whether you choose your morals or your satisfaction. That's all. That's all you have to choose. A lot like Tectone here, for example, he's choosing his morals over like his satisfaction of using the character.
unfortunate situation, and it's also on the back of a pile of a bunch of different grievances people had with Honkai Star Rail, and this is the big, like, basically every grievance people had with Honkai Star Rail is coming to a head with Castorice. And this is just, like, the situation you're thrown into, realistically. So.
Sure.
Oh, your occupational hazard at this point.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I remember when I saw Castorice, bro, when I saw her in the story, she was so cool. Then I saw the leaks of her fucking dragon attack. Bro, that shit looks busted. And then I saw that she had a global passive, and I was like, wow, this really sucks. Okay, well, I mean, I guess I'm going to stop playing. I mean, I mean this genuinely. I didn't want to stop playing. I didn't. I really wanted to continue playing Honkai Star. I fucking love that game. But, like, the story direction's going downhill. Xiao Ji fucking sucks. The principles of global passives being added is just ridiculous. Knowing that's being added to more characters is fucking ridiculous. The combat is more and more less about what you're fighting and more about who you're bringing, which is just like, I'm good. It's just not really going in a good spot for me. And that's why I said I'm going to stop playing, because if I said all that and I continued playing, people would call me a hypocrite. And to be honest, people call me everything. People call me things that are way worse. But it's one of those things where it's just like, if you're going to say that something's bad, then don't support it. And if you are, accept that there's going to be criticism involved. I do think...
He's saying everything that I've been saying too.
Stop searching your name for who's shit talking you, Pokey. Stop doing that.
Okay, respectfully, the fact that that person was in your server the entire time and didn't get banned, it's either you or your mods not doing their job. So like, it is.
Oh, I don't go in that. I don't go on that server, to be completely honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that person was pretty crazy. Oh,
yeah, but also it's like,
your ass.
but it's also like, okay, do we really want to take one chatter in a Discord of 90,000 people and say like, I can't believe you noticed this guy? I mean, people get through the cracks all the time.
The style you say is pretty interesting, so I think it's
Bro, he's actually not denying it that he wants to implicate Tectone about with it. That's fucking insane. That's just his like. This is just a long way of saying like, it's technically still your fault. I think. I still think you need to take responsibility. You know, and just saying, like, oh man. Bro is a fucking bro's walking red flag right here. Like the way he acts, at least like based on like my observation so far, right?
a pretty funny joke. It's a pretty funny example. And I think at this point it's no longer like more like a one guy. I think like majority of your chat and like in Gacha Police, they all hate me now because I still like playing HSR. So
He's trying to make it personal. I feel like he's trying to make it personal. You just hate me now because I'm still playing HSR.
it is what it is, man.
No, I don't think so. But I mean, I can definitely understand how it feels that way. But yeah.
Yeah.
MrPokke, I do think it's sort of a one guy situation where like anyone, this happens to every streamer, you'll always see the more negative stuff than the positive or the neutral, right? It's just we'll always see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. All right, I'm sorry for ruining your wizardry class. I know chat wants to be gone. All right, bye guys.
Peace.
See you later, man.
Wizardry.
Okay. So we're done with the reacting to the call. Oh my god, it's exactly 3 hours. I spent 3 hours on the 30-minute video. Oh my fucking god.
This is
Guys, we still haven't even reacted to the actual video, which is like MrPokke's like perspective on things. Oh my lord. This is gonna be such a long video. I wanted to play Monster Hunter, bro. All I wanted to do is play Monster Hunter. Why did I got this long? I started my stream early so I can play Monster Hunter, but it's almost 3 a.m. now. It's 2:30 already. Anyway, now we're on to the part 2. I think I'm gonna make it into a 2 video after all, because I don't want it to be longer than that. Like, yeah, it has to be a 2 parts video. So right now we can